Welcome back to Tier Zero Gaming. Today we are bringing to you the Lorcana Ursula's Return Set Championship. I'm Mike, joined today by my friend Dick Burns.
What's going on, everybody?
Welcome, Dick. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm doing great. You?
Okay, I'm doing well. Looking forward to getting this all recorded. So we are jumping into round two. We had 19 players, so 5 rounds of Swiss with a cut to top 8. And we decided to start recording in round two once we had some records starting to come out. You know, the 1-0s versus each other, etc.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So we start off with our previous set champion, Shawn Hopkins, on screen. On your right, playing tried and true Ruby Amethyst.
Who is falling right into the classic played your one drop into a Cinderella, which is very scary thing to do.
Yeah, Drew over here, another local coming out with Steel Song and triple one drop on the play.
Yep, he's definitely looking to wheel as soon as possible, which is a whole new world in this game.
Absolutely. Now, how would you say this matchup plays out in general? Like, if you played this matchup 10 times, what would you say the percentages wind up as?
I would say the only time the Amber Steel deck loses is when it draws too many uninkables.
Okay.
Or just never shifts into any song ever.
So if the Ruby Amethyst deck kind of keeps the 5 drops in check, and there's the wheel, like you said, right there on turn 3.
The Ruby Amethyst deck almost cannot do anything. It is almost a free matchup for Amber Steel.
Okay.
I played this matchup 20 times with teammates,
Yes.
and I lost 1.
Okay.
And it was when my hand just fell apart.
Just all the whole new worlds, all the grab your swords, just everything stuck in your hand.
Exactly.
Gotcha. So that's a brawl, I believe, taking out the singer Cindy.
Yeah, which we already shifted to Robin Hood, but I think that people use their brawls incorrectly in this matchup a lot.
Okay.
Where you want to take out shift targets more often.
Okay. We already have a 5 in play, so taking out the singer 3 less relevant kind of a thing.
Yeah, whereas it's kind of easy to run into that Cinderella if it's exerted.
Sure.
If he shifts another Robin Hood, we're not dealing with that until a Maui turn.
Okay.
And then past that, a Be Prepared turn.
Right. And the Ruby Amethyst decks are not playing the full 4 copies of Be Prepared anymore. That's been true for a while now, right?
That has recently changed because of Bucky.
Okay.
It will go back to that, though. That is true. And are we exerting with a Robin Hood that was just played?
Yeah, and I made a note of that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no table judges, but
Right.
it's also Sean's responsibility.
Yes, both players are
pick this
responsible
up,
for everything that happens. As you see, I added a note pointing out
Yes.
that we caught that.
which is great.
Hopefully, it doesn't impact the outcome of the game, and at least right now, the Steel Song deck is pretty far ahead.
Yes.
So, like, one lore theoretically isn't going to make or break this game, but we've all played games where that one lore does make a difference.
Yeah, especially in games where you have blocking.
Right. So, yeah, sorry about the mistake, folks, but hopefully we're okay. Flute is real nice.
Yeah, and we're on 6 lore already.
Yeah.
I would guess this game is over.
Sure.
If I'm
Singing a whole new world.
in Drew's seat, I'm thinking this game has ended already.
That looked like 2 grab your swords going to the bin, I think, and then something else as the third card.
Yes, which they are definitely not in the deck for this matchup. So
Right.
feels great to
Be a-
discard your opponent's entire hand and then discard your useless cards.
Absolutely. All right, so questing again. We're up to 9 after the flute plus the quest. We got to whole new world for a second time this game, just making sure that anything Shawn was trying to prepare, trying to set up, just isn't happening. So, going after an Ariel again over the shift target here.
Yeah, that and it looked like Drew almost picked up the Robin Hood thinking,
Thinking
oh,
that he was
Shawn is
going to
definitely
target.
going to
Yeah.
brawl this Robin Hood because it's representing possibly 2 lore in play.
Right. Second flute.
Yeah, once you get to 12, the game's usually over.
You just kind of can close it out
Because
with flutes,
they
right?
can't win in 4 turns.
Right.
And you just play 2 flutes. And,
And there's that shifted
those
Robin
shift
Hood you were
Robin
talking
Hood.
about.
Whereas the redundant Ariel would not have done much.
Yeah.
But Shawn was in just a terrible spot this
Yeah.
game. Like,
Yeah.
typically you don't want to play Flynn Riders. You want to ink them, which is something that I was fortunate no one in set jams realized.
Okay.
I was just freely getting another card out of their hand.
Gotcha.
And that's exactly why you don't want to play Flynn Rider.
Yeah. For those Magic players, shock draw card is very, very good.
Yes, it costs one lore rather
Yeah.
than one mana.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, that card is crazy. My wife has been playing Steel Song basically the entirety of the time Lorcana has existed, and that card got printed, and we were just here for it.
Yeah, it is. It's my favorite deck. It's the most Lorcana deck.
Okay.
It does everything that's unique to Lorcana and no other game. Where
Yeah.
you have shifting, you have songs. Like it's just everything that you. It's like should be why you play Lorcana, but then other people complain that's too strong.
Meanwhile, I don't think at any point has it been the de facto best deck in the game. I don't think.
Yeah, I think the biggest reason for that is like the 20 uninkables.
Yeah. Okay.
It wins a lot of like very big tournaments, but that's maybe once every few months.
Right.
And then other times it just falls over itself.
Yeah.
I played it in all the set champs. I top 8'd all of them. I got first place in half of them and second place in another.
Okay.
And then I played it in Texas and had a very mediocre 31 points when you need 45 to make day 2.
Gotcha. Okay. So pretty far off.
Right, exactly.
All told.
And it was mostly the deck just falling apart.
Okay. If you can remind me of the point system, I know Lorcana does something that I'm personally not familiar with, coming from a Magic background. The best of two set.
Yeah, the 2-game
is
format.
3 points per game win and a bonus if you 2-0. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay,
Yes.
so up to 7 points per match win. Up to 7
Yes.
points.
So splitting a round is almost as bad as losing a round.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is very disheartening.
Yeah.
We also saw Shawn again run a 1-drop into a Cinderella, which was then immediately binned. I would
Well, in this
actually
case, right, he was
prefer-
on the play, so that
Well,
turn
he
of our
actually
followers
played
got
it
to-
turn 2.
Oh.
Yeah, he missed it. He unfortunately drew it turn 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I would almost rather keep my opponent's uninkable shock that draws a card in their hand.
Gotcha. Fair enough. And for those who are going to yell at us for calling it a shock, name of that card is, of course,
Let Storm
the
Rage on.
Storm Rage on.
Yeah, which I often confuse with Strength of a Raging Fire.
Yeah. I had to picture the art in my head for a second to make sure I got it right.
Yep.
Strength of a Raging Fire, another card that's very good in the Steel Song deck, being able to go so wide with all the 1-drops.
Yeah,
and be able to
especially-
just shoot down whatever they're trying to shoot down.
Especially with a whole new world in your deck.
Yes.
You can just throw cards away without even thinking about it because you know you're going to reset your hand back to 7 at some point.
Absolutely.
Like, normally, would we want to deal 3 damage to a Maleficent?
Not really.
Yeah, but if our plan is to, at some point, reset our hand, it doesn't really matter.
Right. And in this case, okay, here we go. Pride lands. So we're questing for 3. Pride lands in play, and we're going to put Smee on the Pride lands. That makes sense to
Yeah,
me.
it makes sense to me.
Smee taking the damage every turn because we're not playing any way to stop that from happening, giving him an extra boost in willpower to make sure that he can just keep on doing his thing.
Yes, and then Smee is probably your best Rapunzel target because
Absolutely.
it's putting the damage on itself. You're not relying on your opponent.
Yeah, for sure. And the Ruby Amethyst deck, very good at not leaving damaged characters in play.
Yes, most of their characters are way above par.
Yeah, Maui, for example, 5 ink for a 6/5 that just mauls whatever he's trying to hit.
Oh, Grab Your Sword's actually coming into play this game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I believe we now have no cards in our hand on Drew's side.
Correct. Yeah, we're in the whole new world waiting room.
Yes. This deck often living on a prayer. But the Pride Land's gaining a point every turn.
Yeah,
It
the
is very
Cinderella
good.
can't sing Whole New World anyway, so if we're not facing anything, we might as well be getting some of this lore out here.
Yeah.
Not playing whatever we drew, so probably something like Strength of a Raging Fire
Yes.
or
Yes.
similar. Storm Rage on. Yeah, and there it is. So let the Storm Rage on, shoot down the Flynn, draw a card.
I probably would have sang with Cinderella.
Okay.
I
Because
don't think
depending
the
on what you
one
draw.
lore. Yeah, I don't think the one lore is going to make or break the game. Whereas if you drew something,
Like a whole new world,
Yes.
having the 5 ink up just to be able to do that. That
or
makes sense.
or the queen, or any of your 5 cost cards,
Sure.
I think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It looked like he actually drew a flute, so if he would have got that in play last turn, he still would have gained the 1 lore, but had a better tempo advantage.
Yep.
Whereas at some point he has to find 2 free ink to now use this flute.
Yeah, this Pride Lance has just kind of been sitting here unchecked this whole time. I think at this point it's gained 3 lore.
Yeah,
So-
the Pride Lands is incredible against this matchup. Even their best thing that they can do is Maui it,
Right.
which doesn't kill it
Yeah,
on the
it's-
spot.
7, right?
Yes.
yeah.
And then if you World's Greatest Criminal Mind that Maui,
Right.
they feel awful. They spent 5 ink to not kill your location.
And you, yeah, and you spend tapping your Singer Cinderella to
yeah.
do the thing. So Shawn on the board.
Oh, yep. Which, I played Shawn. I played Shawn the week before in this exact matchup, and he did not get on the board.
Yeah,
In fact, it was a 40-0, which is common in this matchup.
Yeah. So we did have to be prepared. So the Pride Lands is still trucking away and doing its thing, but we did manage to sweep up the board at least.
Yes.
The 5-drop Robin Hood off the top for Drew. Seems
Which
like it's probably going to
should
close
get
out this
Medusa.
game, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
No, I was
Okay.
going to say, there's so many answers to a 3 power character.
That's true. That's true.
But this Pride Lands is
It's
just...
still putting in work.
Yes.
So here's a Rapunzel with nothing, but it quests for 2, which threatens to close out the game right now.
And Drew just wants to make Shawn answer his characters so that he doesn't answer the Pride Lands.
Right,
Which is
right.
going to need 2 cards to answer it.
No matter what, right? There's no clean 1-for-1 on the Pride Lands.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was
At
that
least not... That was a be prepared
Yeah.
to deal with the...
Just to clear a Rapunzel. Flute, sing a song.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. The Maui and the Fox potentially can kill the Pride Lands, but now the flute is threatening to.
Just any song wins the game. It
Exactly.
doesn't matter
Yeah.
what it does.
And I think we're.
That's how this matchup usually goes.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well played to Drew, knowing what he's supposed to do in this matchup and doing what he needs to do.
Yes.
So, going into. This is now round 3. Like I said, we started recording in round 2. So, going into this, we have Randall Snider, again on Ruby Amethyst.
Yep, most played
versus, Yep, Drew staying on camera, still playing Steel Song.
King of the Mountain.
Yeah. I've gotten away from that a little bit. It just makes for slightly worse viewing, I find. But
Yeah.
at the end of the
want to see
day,
variety.
people want to see variety, but the people that are winning like to be on camera. So
Yes.
there's some amount of give and take.
But also, I will take credit. I am pretty sure I am the reason there was so much Amber Steel here.
That might be
After
true.
winning 2 of them in a row, first place, I noticed almost half the people here were Amber Steel,
Sure.
which felt good for me.
There you go. I know Drew's been on Amber Steel for a little while now, so
Yeah.
I don't know if he started because you were playing it, but I do know he's been playing it for a
The
minute.
week before, he was playing a Mufasa deck
Okay.
in a tournament that I had won.
Okay. All right. So are there any, do you know, I know you were here for this event,
I
do you
like
know if there are
Pegasus.
any notable differences between Randall's build and Shawn's build?
I see a Pegasus right now,
Sure.
which I was not paying that much attention. I was mostly making fun of Gerald my entire day here.
Okay.
But I am
Priorities.
Yeah, I'm a huge Pegasus believer.
All right.
I mean, it just traded 2 ink for 3 ink.
Yes.
But Pegasus is something that really threatens locations well.
Okay. It's evasive, question mark?
Yes, a 3/1 evasive.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't outright kill locations, but if you just throw Pride Lands out there on turn 2, it's not living long. It's
Sure.
not going the whole game like it normally does.
That's fair. So it's just kind of like a soft counter to something like a Pride Lands then?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then one weakness is there are really no aggressive decks in the format because of Bucky.
Okay.
A deck that you ink a card and play a card every turn without drawing a bunch of extra cards is just not viable when
folds.
you're gonna run out of cards turn
Yeah.
4. So when you do run into the odd aggressive deck, something like a 3/1 for 2 that's inkable is very impressive.
Okay.
You would think no, but I mean, if you're just getting beat down by a Smee,
Yeah.
or if they play a turn 1 Lilo that quests for 2 every turn,
Right.
just having an answer in your deck.
Sure. Makes sense to me. And this is, excuse me, the Sisu that it gets power based on the opponent's hand size. Is that
Yes.
correct? Yeah.
Right on time.
Sorry, strength.
Strength.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Which is another great reason why World's Greatest Criminal Mind is typically in the Amber Steel deck.
Okay.
Specifically for Sisu.
Yeah. And I know there's the very cute play that you can do with the 5-drop queen, the shift queen.
Yes,
And
which I love.
I think that comes up occasionally. Being able to grow your opponent's creature character,
Yes.
so that World's Greatest Criminal Mind can.
The only thing people
clear
have
it.
to keep in mind is they have to have 2 characters.
Yes.
Because it says chosen opposing character gets -4,
Right.
and then chosen any character gets +4.
Right.
So people just assume that it's the same for both. Yeah, questing with the Smee earlier, not a huge fan of because it was just eaten by the Sisu, and we have
Yeah.
so many bounce effects on in Randall's deck
Okay.
that Sisu
You think
just
we should have
living
just taken
at
that
all.
one turn off, basically?
Yes. I mean, we even could have put it in the Pride Lands the following turn
Sure.
and had more health.
Pitch a
hoping
wheel
you
to
had hit
wheel.
3 of these. Oh, no. And then I'm looking into one. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, about
Yeah,
that.
I'm still happy if I'm Drew here.
Sure.
We have the same amount of ink. We have 2
Pride
things
lands,
that are
yeah.
gaining lore to our opponent's one that is trying to
Trying
combat
to
our
slowly
lore.
clear them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to clear one this turn, so we're going to get passed back from Drew's side with 1 Pride Lands, most likely.
Yeah, so we gained. I mean, the fact that we're slowing down Randall's questing and we're gaining lore and a tempo advantage now because we reset the hands. It
Yes.
didn't matter that we invested 4 ink.
Right. And for what it's worth, we from Randall's side, he bounced the Sisu
Yes.
and had it whole new worlded right out of his
Yes, which is quite funny.
hand. So kind of the same as just clearing it at that point, right?
Yes,
So maybe in that
Randall
regard,
did it for him.
if Drew knew that he was trying to set up the whole new world turn, maybe he doesn't necessarily care that the Smee is putting damage on the Sisu that's likely to get bounced.
Yeah, it would have been unfortunate though if Randall would have, instead of inking the snake, played the snake,
Yeah.
bounced the Sisu, replayed the Sisu,
Sure,
and
sure.
not put 4 damage on the Pride Lands that exact
Absolutely,
turn.
that's true.
And then the wheel would have been even worse, actually, for Drew, because then Sisu would have had 7 power.
Fair enough. Yeah, valid point.
So
So either way, maybe don't
I'm not
quest
even
with the
sure
Smee
if
there.
I'm not even sure if I would have thought of that from either side.
Sure.
And I've played this matchup probably over 100 times.
Gotcha. So Drew up to 7 lore thanks to the Pride Lands. Maui coming in and doing a good job of cleaning up the second one, but
Yes.
not before it gets at least 1 additional lore. And now Drew coming up with the 5-drop Robin Hood. No shift in this case. We're just playing it straight up.
Yeah, he most likely needs a singer. And
Probably.
I was going to say, and he's going to want to
Okay.
play another character
Yeah.
so that Lady Tremaine and Bee King Undisputed
Sure.
are not a thing.
The 2 from Magic's terminology edict effects.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, the Pride Lands just made Randall spend 5 ink to not impact the board,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, it's true.
Even though the Pride Lands is going down, that was invested on turn 4. And it stopped Randall from playing like a Maleficent, a Queen's Castle, anything
Yeah.
like that. And there's the Bee King, the edict effect we
We're
were talking
singing
about.
it. Yep. I do really like that Maui is so good at singing.
Oh, Maui's the best singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Just one of those really neat things about Lorcana specifically. You have this big character that you think of, and you're like, that character is meant to battle other characters.
Yeah, I mean,
And then
it has Reckless.
right, and then he just sits there and is like friends on the other side, be king undisputed, like
Which is even funnier when your opponent is like, oh, it has Reckless, so I'll quest with my thing, and they'll have to trade.
they'll have to trade.
And then they don't.
And, yeah. And then instead they draw 2 cards.
Yes.
All right, so we're, Chernobog's followers doing its job and drawing an extra card.
Oh, did he just draw
yeah,
that?
we ripped
oh,
it
wow.
off the Chernobog's
That was
followers.
amazing, because I probably would not have gotten rid of that followers that turn. I would have slammed a castle in play.
Well,
I
turns out it worked out pretty
Yes.
well. All right, so clear the Maleficent draw card is
Drew's
fine.
hand has to be really bad. Yeah, if I'm Randall and my opponent's paying 3
Okay.
to trade my thing that already drew me
a
a
card,
card,
yeah.
then I'm feeling like I'm in control of this game.
Sure.
And yeah, it definitely looks like it.
Yeah, the flute coming down, getting to gain a lure, but like you said, the breakpoint tends to be like around 12.
Yes.
And like Randall has a pretty firm grasp of the field, and Drew is under 12, right?
Yes.
So
I was gonna say, if Drew's around 12 and he's got 2 flutes or a flute and
like maybe a Pride lands.
yeah, something that's also making Randall not quest. But yeah, Randall just put a clock in play.
Yes, Queen's Castle closes out games very quickly.
Yes.
2 lore a turn is so much, and on top of that, the extra cards that you will draw off of it over the course of a game.
Yeah, it's the best location by a mile.
Oh, yeah. It is kind of the only card that's ever made me look at Steel Song and be like, maybe I want to try something else.
I think Drew's biggest game plan now is to just draw as many flutes as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah, like if he went double flute here and just
Yes.
quest for 3, suddenly I feel like he can close out this game, right?
Yeah, it's at least competitive.
Yeah.
I've had games where I had to have all 4 flutes and I had them.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I'll never cut flute from the deck. You could
Sure.
have no cards in play. You can have no cards in hand. You could draw a whole new world into some flutes and just win.
Sure. It's true. No other card is going to gain that lore right away.
Right.
Yep.
It's our goat.
There's the second one.
Except it's a little more reusable.
All right, so we had the second flute. So we did in fact whole new world into it, and then double 1 drop. That's not bad.
Right. Yeah. Presumably Randall could deal with 1 easily,
Sure.
but
we're
having
also-
another one is great.
We're down how many Robin Hoods? I know we had at least 1 in play that got Be King Undisputed. I feel like I saw us ink 1 at some point.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Somebody with more eagle eyes than me probably knows exactly how many we've been through, but
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you're staying across from it as well.
Absolutely.
Like we're keeping track of both boards.
trying to follow everything. Yep, absolutely. So quest for 3 here.
Yes.
Quest for 3 and be prepared. Okay.
Okay.
Not bad. So we still have the Queen's Castle. So it's Queen's Castle versus Flutes.
Yeah, Queen's Castle control.
But this looks like an okay spot for Drew. We're getting to untap with all of our ink available.
Yeah, I
Okay.
probably
Ink
would
for
not
turn, then.
have be prepared 2 Robin Hoods. Drew has no wrath effects. Well, he has no board clearing effects in his
Fair
deck.
necessity's not terrible. Looks like we have a choice between be prepared. So okay.
I would've-
So
yeah.
I mean that just kind of tells us that we have a handful of characters, right?
Yeah, I would have took the friends and actually let Randall
Oh.
spend his whole turn paying 7 and not adding to the board.
But what about when we have just 4?
Yeah.
That's way harder to clear now.
Yeah. You know what? We're old Magic players. I'm a control player at heart.
You just want
know?
everything gone.
I just, yeah. The set champs I actually got second place in, my
Yeah.
opponent was playing Ruby Amethyst and did not have Be Prepared in his deck.
Okay.
And that actually favored him
Yeah, okay.
because sometimes I need them to clear the board. I have to put enough threats in play where they think for some reason they're behind on board when they're not really.
Even though realistically they should just keep the pressure they
Yes,
have.
yes.
Fair enough. This game is still close lore total wise. The Queen's Castle has been putting in good work. This goat is going to do a good job of making sure we try to keep up. That said, Drew, depending on what's in his hand, is potentially going to 18 next turn.
Yes. And
If Drew goes to 18, the game is over.
yeah, I was going to say, if I'm on Drew's side now,
Yeah.
I'm feeling incredible.
So any song, and we're at 18. So like that has to be the goal from Drew's side, right? Just play any song here, even if it's a grab your
yeah,
sword. It
could
doesn't
be,
matter.
Yeah. It could be a blank text.
Yeah,
as
it
long
does
as it
not
says
matter
song.
what it does, as long as it says the word song on it. Exactly.
Yeah, I wonder how much sooner Randall could have put this castle in play
There we
instead
go.
of dealing
Yep.
with.
Doesn't matter if that clears it. It doesn't.
Yep.
We sing a song. We're at 18. This game is functionally over, right?
Instead of clearing a Pride Lands earlier, if you would have put that castle into play one turn or a couple turns earlier,
Well, it
I
wasn't.
wonder what it would have been.
That's true, but remember, it wasn't that he ripped the second Be King Undisputed.
Yes.
Which is what made him play that instead of the castle, because it cleared a 5-drop Robin Hood. So, all right. So good job to Drew. Managed to like strip the Be Prepared out, played double Smee, and then went deal with all of this in 2 turns, or I win.
Yeah, also, where are Randall's Medusas? I wonder if they're in the deck.
Sure.
I used to be a 4 Lady Tremaine person, 0 Medusa, because people respected Medusa so much.
Sure.
They were building their decks around it.
You see that? We inked a Flynn.
I did, which is smart. If any of my opponents would have known that, they would have had a better shot against me past couple weekends.
You hear that, Randall? Good job. Seems like you have a firm grasp on this matchup. Oh,
No, Randall. Well, if he does not have a brawl and he's anticipating a whole new world to come down,
sure.
it's better than in the discard pile.
Yeah.
But
Also, like, let's be real. We're kind of poking fun at the Flynn Riders in this matchup, but
Yeah.
in combination with the Sisu, it's just going to do its thing every chance, right?
we just have so many answers to Flynn or Sisu from the Amber Steel side.
More so for the Flynn, right? Sisu's 4.
Yeah, Sisu, the answers are Zeus or World's Greatest Criminal Mine.
Yes. How many Zeuses do you typically play?
2.
2. Right?
Now that Bucky is gone, I think it might go to 0, grab your swords, and 4 Zeus.
Yeah, okay. And I know that's how it was for Shannon's deck for a little while. Was the
Yeah,
grab
a
your
lot of
swords
people were
really-
on 1 or 0, grab
Yeah.
your swords.
And then Bucky started coming up, and it was like, okay, we need these again.
If I am Randall, I'm looking for a brawl.
Sure. Well,
Oh, and we have one, so we
have
don't
one, so
need to we don't need to get rid of followers. And we're offering up our Flynn.
sure. We're just
Which is
willing
fine.
to trade the Flynn for 2 lore, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Chernobog's followers is a 2/1, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That thing, yeah, I'm always surprised that thing has 2 strength. Just always.
Yeah. The fact that it can actually combat things as
Yeah, what do you mean that thing
Flavor-wise,
trades with
it just
Cinderella?
wants to-
What's happening?
yeah, it just wants to be banished.
Yeah.
So
All right, Ariel doing her thing and looking for a song. So I know, I don't know if you follow him directly, but Frank Karsten is the math guy.
yes.
If you're following him, he posts on TCG Player Pro and Channel Fireball.
Yes.
And he did a breakdown of the number of songs that you should have in your deck for Ariel to hit statistically likely, right? Like hypergeometric calculator and everything.
Yes.
I want to say the number wound up being like anything less than 18 was bad, and realistically you want up to like 22.
Yeah, whereas I would play Ariel with 4 songs in my deck. Because
Just that singer 5.
it's just, yeah, like people already play Gaston, the 3 power, 3 willpower singer 5.
Yeah.
The fact that you just have a singer 5 that costs 3, the fact that you have a soul ring, basically,
Sure.
is just so good.
Yeah, and for anybody tuning in who has played Magic for a long time, if you're new to Lorcana, the singer mechanic is probably the most busted thing that Lorcana has that other games just don't have.
Yeah. That or shift, and then the new character not having summoning sickness, not needing to dry.
Yeah, so and if you're coming from Magic in that case, it's very similar to Mutate, but Mutate only existed in one set, so like it's not everybody is familiar with that. But the singer mechanic, just being able to use your character to generate however much ink it's worth, or more in some cases, like Ariel,
Yes, or
is-
Ursula,
or
which is an
Ursula,
all-star.
or the one drop Cinderella, just the amount of ink advantage that you get to generate because of it, as Dick mentioned a moment ago, it's like putting multiple soul rings in your deck.
Yes.
So for those Magic players out there who haven't really tried out this game, it's a wild mechanic.
And this is the Soul Ring deck.
It really is. This is the Soul Ring deck.
You're playing one cost Queens and one cost Robin Hoods only because they are Soul Rings.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
they're
They
generating
make
you
your
two more
things-
ink.
They make your things cheaper. Oh, jeez.
Oof.
This is a good start from Drew.
Yes. If
The
I'm
Queen's Castle is in play, notably. So, like,
Yeah, but he has one of like some of the only boards that can actually deal with that, which is like most of our characters only have two power. So the
Sure.
fact that he put 3 on it with this me
yeah,
means that's 2 hits from any other
any
character.
two characters. Yeah. Do you trade off the?
I
Flynn
would
with the
definitely
Snider?
trade the Flynn with this me. I wouldn't
think so,
worry
too.
about the 3. I wouldn't worry about gaining 3 lore.
I think I agree with you. I think I'm slamming that Flynn into the Smee and getting it gone. Make sure that Queen's Castle lasts for as long as possible.
Yes.
Because, like, sure, we're losing the 3 lore that we'll get because the Maui gets to stick around from the Flynn, but I think that's okay when we're denying our opponent 2.
Yeah, and then it could also be denying them a Rapunzel draw.
Yeah, also true. Yep. Okay, so now this is 1 damage away from getting cleared. We have the
And
Rapunzel.
there's the 1
Sure.
damage for next turn.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it is just the draw 1, but still okay.
Yeah, especially because if that wasn't a Smee, if that was just like, say, Piglet, you're still probably playing Rapunzel this turn and drawing nothing.
The Maui can slam into the Smee, but it's a trade.
Yes.
Flynn can also trade. We did get the giant bump in lore from the Maui being in play, and Drew hasn't been able to quest, so despite having these flutes and everything, he's sitting on only 2 lore. So this castle and Flynn are certainly closing out this game faster than the
Yeah.
Ruby Amethyst deck.
They are the
does.
reason that Ruby Sapphire cannot be played right now.
Sure.
The deck is too slow to deal with these. Another reason why Pegasus is
Okay.
good. Flynn
Taking
Rider.
the trade now. Sure. And now that castle gets to live another turn.
Yep. Randall has to be feeling great.
Yeah, Randall has taken firm control of this game. Yeah. So from Drew's side, what are we looking to do here?
Go to the next game.
Yeah, that grab your sword ain't it, right?
Yeah. From Drew's side, we're looking to stick a Singer 5 and then draw a whole new world.
Sure.
But it's still just going to be so hard to clear when Maui had 3 health and Medusa had 4. That's just so hard for Amber Steel to do anything. So the difference if we would have traded the Flint earlier is we would have 3 less lore,
Sure.
but 3 more health on castle.
Yes.
So it's
But
probably
that's it.
not
If-
going to be relevant
Yeah.
this game.
If Drew
either
can't
way.
get anything to stick, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Just a naked Rapunzel.
This is the Amber
is-
Steel deck falling apart.
Yeah, this game is functionally over. We're drawing 3 cards this turn because we've got 2 characters at the Queen's Castle. Castle gaining 2 lore at the beginning of the turn, questing for 1.
Looks like
now
he
Drew
drew a
has to
free
basically clear
B
the
King
board. Or,
undisputed.
sure. Like any number of 47 cards to clear this Rapunzel ends the game on the spot. That was a brawl, I think.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Yep. We're done here.
I think this is one of those moments like you're on camera, so you want the hero victory. But I would have scooped up a little while ago.
Yeah, maybe.
I've had some games, especially with this guy, Braden Bowdish, where we just understand when the game's over, and most of our matches last 5 minutes.
Sure, sure. Alright. Drew off to a fine start. Chernobog's followers, good start for Randall.
Yep. Let's see if we can shift, sing,
Right.
get rid of the followers immediately.
Okay. Yep. Quest 2.
Nope.
Sure.
All right.
That's still
Yeah,
fine, though.
that's still
Like,
a
it's
great
not like
start.
the Chernobog's followers can slam into the...
Yeah, there's nothing Ruby Amethyst can do.
So, just on turn 2, we're questing for 2. Not bad. Okay.
Interesting. He had a Pegasus, which would have lined up to take
It does
out.
trade with the queen,
Yeah,
right?
it would have just taken out the queen. Where I would assume Drew does not have a whole new world.
Sure.
If I were Drew, I would have done a whole
slammed
new
it on
world
two.
immediately and got rid of their mulligan.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's something worth talking about for a moment. Not just the ability to whole new world on turn 2 or 3, but whether or not you should
Yes.
whole new world
So
that early.
we didn't see the mulligans. If my opponent keeps between 5 and 7 cards,
Sure.
I am gonna play a whole new world immediately.
Just as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
get that out of there.
Okay.
All those cards you wanted to have in
Right.
play.
You kept
are-
these because you know they're good in
Ooh.
the matchup, kind of a thing. I saw some choices.
Oh, I saw that.
That's
Only
a
that.
good one.
Yep.
We talked about Grab Your Sword not being spectacular in this matchup.
Yeah.
It looked real good that turn.
So it also would have cleared the Pegasus.
Yes.
So it didn't matter what he played. But yeah, typically your opponent doesn't have that many characters in play.
Right.
Like the Chernobog's followers probably could have just went and drew a card instead of staying in play.
Sure.
It's weird. It's so hard though because is your opponent going to wheel you?
Right.
Probably not because they didn't on 2. But is your opponent going to hit a wheel off aerial? Or is your opponent going to hit a board clear?
Right.
Or
And who
are they
knows,
going to have
right?
Rapunzel and then they challenge your Chernobog and draw 2? It's just like it's like impossible to keep up with the puzzle
Yeah.
of Amber Steel.
All right. I don't know if there was a song there and we chose not to grab one.
I'm not sure, but I do that so often.
Yeah.
Where I
If you
have
know
a
you're
whole new
gonna whole
world
new world,
already.
yeah.
And then I let my opponent think. Interesting ink here
Yeah. Okay.
when we have the combo.
well, we do, but we don't, right?
Yeah, we can't choose it this turn, but if Randall plays a character next turn, which I presume that he would, also we're offering
We're offering one of the Ariels as a trade. We're offering the Queen as a trade.
Queen,
We have
yeah.
3 Singer 5s in play.
so interesting because the Pegasus is so easy to clear.
Yep.
I see his hand.
Pride Lands.
Pride Lands Flute.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I would have just not inked that turn.
You think?
Yeah, I had a match on stream where I was on 3 ink, my opponent was on 10, and I won the game handily.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, especially when you have 3 singers.
Sure. Trading off with the Queen. So there's followers. There's a... Okay, sure.
Oof.
That's a good sequence.
Yes.
Very good sequence, especially coming... Like, we only had 4 ink that turn. That was a lot to do with only 4 ink. There we go.
And now,
That's
I-
funny.
I would assume
Strength
a
of a
Maui.
Raging Fire to boop for 1.
yeah.
Fantastic. Pride Lands Flute. There we go.
I'm assuming a Maui would. I would assume a Maui would be coming down
We
if
did,
I were.
We did just ink
Drew.
a Maui. But yeah, I would also assume a second one here. Rabbit is not a Maui. 1 drop plus Rabbit, not bad.
Yeah, if I'm Randall, I'm feeling good. Just like the sheer fact that Drew has 0 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course,
I-
a whole new world is still the scariest thing ever.
We're going to keep saying it, but Whole New World Waiting Room is a place where we live.
Yeah, I was in the finals of a set champs, and every time I drew, one of the spectators sang a whole new world.
Yeah.
Which was getting very frustrating.
Okay,
But
okay.
I just dealt with it.
Yeah. Wild. I think that's a blessing and a curse for this game.
Yeah.
Because people love being able to just sing the songs that they knew and that they grew up with in their childhood. But yeah.
Yeah, the first couple times was funny, but and it looks like we just drew a Bee King Undisputed. The rabbit can sing.
Okay.
They are best friends.
That it's quite good. Oh,
Oh, we're not even gonna need to.
okay. Yeah. Turns out Pride Winds might help the Ariel survive some stuff. It doesn't do anything against that Medusa.
I think Randall's considering if just gaining 2 lore is better than the damage.
I think we just want to put damage on the Pride Lands, right? Because now the Medusa can clear it by itself. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah, I would have liked playing the Flynn that turn,
Okay.
and just singing B King and ignoring Pride Lands.
Sure.
There's not much he could have drawn that would have punished it, and then you still have Medusa in your hand.
Sure. If you saw the note that popped up on the bottom,
Yeah.
looked like Drew missed his Pride Lands lore this turn. He was, top decking and just wanted to get that aerial down, I guess, but at no point did he.
Yeah,
Acknowledge
he probably feels a little lost in the game.
Yeah, once the Ruby Amethyst deck has this much board presence and we're just top decking, it's real hard to come back. And again, we're under that like 12 lore threshold that you mentioned.
Yeah, and I'm guilty of doing the same thing where I feel like I have no agency and I just am messing up left and right because I'm just like, this game's
Nothing
over.
I do matters anymore. Yeah, I think we all get that way sometimes. But obviously, always best to try to play your best. But that's not
Easier
how
said
people
than
work.
done sometimes.
Yeah. So boop a thing, draw a card, sing. Yup. Okay. So, for what it's worth, we're not completely lost as is, but we are certainly fighting from the back foot here.
Yes.
The rabbits keep the cards flowing. Man, rabbits are so good. I love that card so much.
Yeah, Rabbit, it could be a 0-1.
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
That card says draw 2 cards, at least.
Yeah, and it's a great singer.
I don't know. If the Easter commercials have taught me anything, it's that rabbits aren't good singers, but... all I ever picture is a lion and bunny ears.
Well, they just keep going and going and going.
That is true. All right, Smee questing for 2, 5-drop
All
Robin
right.
Hood coming in.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
It, if
Unfortunately,
it can live, it's a singer.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yup.
it cannot.
Trade, draw a card, everything, just kind of turning out for Randall here.
Yeah, certainly would have drawn a card first.
Sure. I agree with that.
B King Undisputed would have been a better play than the Medusa because he ended up with a castle. But, all right.
What
you
was
just
that?
never
Was that
know.
a grab your swords? That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 damage to everything, sure. Ugh, we talked about that other grab your swords that looked real good.
It's the yin and yang of grab
It
your swords.
really is. When that card is good, man, are you glad you have it in your deck. And when it looks like this, man, do you
Yeah.
wish it was anything else.
Yeah, I think everything came down to the one turn where he threw away the queen and the aerial.
Maybe.
Just he hasn't drawn a whole new world since,
True.
so he still may have lost.
Yeah.
But I don't
So
think the
threw
lore
away,
gain.
I'm not sure I would say threw away, but he certainly offered the trade with the Pegasus.
Yes.
And then Randall had a clean answer for a second one after the first trade.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. In this game, I think one of the most difficult things for people to kind of learn, and one of the things that's nigh impossible to get right frequently, is when to do nothing.
Yes. But yeah, it's like when my opponent's going into a few turns, I know it's kind of like when you're a Magic player and they have 2 islands up.
Sure.
You just
You better expect that counter spell.
yeah. So it's like when there's certain turns they're going into, it's just like, okay, here comes a fox. Okay, here comes
Sure.
a Maui, stuff like that.
Yep. Clear everything.
Yep.
Quest.
Doesn't even need to.
gain lore.
Still,
Yeah.
might as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're gaining
Yeah.
lore. We're drawing extra cards. We have 2 characters over on the Queen's Castle right now.
Yeah, I also would have cleared that with a brawl, but if you're Drew, it's just like, come on, man. It's kind of like when you're playing baseball and it's like 14-0 and they hit another home run. It's like
Couldn't be me. Reset the rabbit. Draw more cards. Sure. Move something else over to the castle, probably. Yup.
yep.
Yup.
We don't need these Mauis, that's for sure.
Well,
We can ink those
not at
Mauis.
all, yeah. Like, even a whole new world at this point, like, we're too far gone, right?
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Randall's up
There
to
we go.
18. Yeah. Yeah, literal nothing. Riddle brick. All right, well, good job to Randall.
Yeah, it's one of his worst matchups.
Yeah, I think he played well. I don't think Drew did anything like necessarily terrible, but just kind of got beat out that game.
Mr. Butts.
Yeah.
If I am ever divorced and he is ever divorced, we will be married.
Okay. Fair enough. So the note down on the bottom, obviously you see a record of 2-1 versus 2-1. The first two tables intentionally drew.
Yes.
So we tried to grab the highest stakes game that was being played. The winner of this match is very likely to be able to draw into the top 8.
Yes. I believe I also drew this round when I was not supposed to.
You got paired against
A
friend? Question mark?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I got paired against a friend who I had beaten in some other set champs.
Okay.
I didn't want to take away his opportunity again, even if I got punished the next round by losing.
Sure.
I just figured, you know what? I've won a couple of these.
Sure. So to this point, then, that if you drew this round, that puts you at 2-0-2 across 4 rounds. Because you intentionally drew, I think, round 1.
Yes, I intentionally drew round 1 with a friend.
With a friend.
She actually flew here from Florida to play in this event.
Okay.
So I would have felt real bad.
Fly from Florida, crush you in the first round.
Yes.
Who knows? She might have beat you.
Yeah. We know. The thing is, she had deterministic mindset of as soon as she saw it, she started panicking.
Gotcha.
And I had already put in that it was a draw.
Okay.
Before she even walked over to the table and started.
Fair enough.
And started asking for it.
All right.
Oh,
okay.
man.
So let's get into what's going on over here. So Gerald with a broom. I'm not familiar with this broom. What is this broom?
When you play a character, you can banish this broom to draw a card.
Sure. So just a 1-drop that can potentially trade with other 1-drops or draw
and
a
it
card
is a
if
1-2.
It's not doing it. Yeah, okay.
Mr. Butts has a great start here. I'll stop calling him that now.
Okay.
Brad has a great start here. Like, being able to actually Rapunzel something on 3 is ideal. It's what the deck wants to do. I mean, on 4, I apologize.
Yeah, okay. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what's reducing the Rapunzel?
This should actually be a good matchup for Brad.
Okay.
The fact that it just never runs out of threats.
Sure.
And can draw cards. Like, it's not... Gerald doesn't really want to be brawling a Mulan.
Okay.
For instance. But if he could last turn, he probably should have. Considering the threat of activation of Rapunzel. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and then the fact that a Mufasa...
Okay.
Oof.
So this is...
Shift Mulan. Brutal.
So this Shift Mulan, this is something that I kind of saw when the set came out, but I haven't really seen it in practice very much.
Yeah, so the turn you shift it gets +2 attack, I believe. It's either +2 or +3.
All right.
It is a 2/6 on its own, and when it deals damage to a character, deal that much to up to 2 other characters.
Okay. So if you get to come down and beat something up, you beat up everything.
Yes, which again might have been another great reason to brawl that Mulan.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because then the other one is going straight into the inkwell.
Right. That's very reminiscent of like set 1 Tinkerbell.
Yes.
When she comes down, the whole board is going away.
Yeah, and if there is a 2/4 Tinkerbell, the typical shift target, you basically can't exert your characters.
Yeah.
Because of the threat of activation.
Absolutely.
Gerald inked a Rafiki, coming back to 3 months ago when that card was playable. And for those that don't know, Gerald is my biggest enemy and rival
Enemy, huh?
rival
Straight
in this
up.
game. Yep,
We used the word enemy.
I drove back from Star City Games Baltimore to root for his opponent to beat him in the finals of a set championships. That way me and Gerald would have the same number of set champs wins.
That is savage.
Yes.
That is ridiculous.
And we ended up with the exact same record in set champs. I even did not play in 2 to give him a shot.
Jesus.
I love Gerald.
I love some friendly rivalries.
Yes. When I lost at some point, he drug the chair out from under me to scold me for not meeting him later in the tournament.
Legit.
I was his one loss, though, when you look at this record as a 2-1.
Okay.
I was the one that
You're
defeated
the one?
him. Yes.
So Gerald is 2 and Dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, this is brutal for Gerald. Like,
Okay.
Brad's deck is just so good against a Ruby Amethyst. It's kind of the reason to play a Mufasa deck. Is because it's so good.
We got to Rapunzel, our Rapunzel that got hit by a fox, so we just draw 3.
Yes.
That feels really, really good.
Yeah. Gerald is taking in just how bad it is for him, asking Brad how many cards are in his hand.
Yeah.
Typical Yu-Gi-Oh move. Every turn. How many cards in it? Gerald is a Yu-Gi-Oh player. He skipped DLC Texas to go to Yu-Gi-Oh Nationals.
Traitor.
Yes, I couldn't
what I
believe it.
Crazy.
I mean, if he doesn't like money, he doesn't like money.
So real quick, pulling up that Mulan, it is +3 when on the turn that you shift it into play. So it does have 5.
A 5/6.
5 strength. Yeah.
Which is so much in
That's
this
so
game.
big.
It's a Zeus with 2 Zeuses attached.
Yeah.
Also,
Notably, that means you can brawl with a Maui, which is not something that many characters can actually do. Even Tinkerbell couldn't just run into a Maui.
yeah, and the fact that you only have to hit their smallest character, to still deal with 5.
Yeah.
If there were better Mulan shifts, the one that damages itself is quite good.
And I assume part of the reason that Bradley is playing Amber Ruby specifically, like anything that comes in with the damage on itself like that, certainly makes Rapunzel look good again.
Yes.
And I know coming into sets 1 and set 2, Rapunzel was like the de facto best card in the game.
Exactly. That is how you knew if your opponent was really entrenched in the game, actually. If they ever quested, if you were Amber and they quested before like turn 4, you knew that they didn't play as much as you.
Okay.
Yeah. Like they were more of a social gamer.
So, yeah, Bradley at 14 versus a clear board from Gerald.
Yep, and Bradley just played his own little Be Prepared in the form of Scar.
Yeah, true enough. Maui clears the Rapunzel. That takes away
Flynn Rider as well.
Yeah.
This
That's a good turn.
This Sisu, very threatening when the shift quest for 3.
Oh, sure.
You can't just leave the little 1/1 quest for 1 and play too long if you can help it.
Yeah, and that tends to be a recurring theme in the game as of Ursula's return, right? Like leaving these 1-drops in play that all have shift targets in the decks.
Yeah.
It winds up being a dangerous proposition. Like, sure, I don't really care about that 2/2 Robin Hood.
Yeah.
But I
like,
really
do I wanna
care
brawl a
about
1-drop?
that. Yeah, exactly. That is
Hydra, which is
Okay.
incredible against the steel decks.
Sure.
If they just want to throw out a Grab Your Swords or a Rogue Tinkerbell, it's really good against that.
Yeah, Hydra is, gigantic, right? That thing's like
6'5"?
a 6'5"? Yeah.
Yeah. Uninkable, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But,
and probably part to do why it sees almost no play.
Yeah, it's really hard to play something that doesn't do anything the turn it comes into play.
Yes.
But it is a tech card
Sure.
against what is mostly a steel meta because of Bucky.
Yeah. And
So with Bucky being gone, Hydra will probably see less play.
sure. And when does that take effect? It's sometime
It
this
is
month, right?
going to take effect before Toronto, which is on 8/24, and I only know that because it's my birthday.
Fair enough.
So
I feel like they said it was like the 9th or something. I think it was early this month.
Yeah, I'm not positive. I only ever think about the DLCs. I'm not one to play Bucky.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm more of a letting everyone have a good time.
Sure.
But to each their own.
Yeah.
Some people's good time is
The misery of
everyone
others.
else's
Yeah.
miserable time.
Some people feed on the salt of the earth.
Yeah, I took a discard deck to one tournament, and it was as a joke because most of my friends were there.
Okay.
And I wanted to draw with all of them. I typically draw with my friends in any tournament. So if they were like, no, I don't think I want to draw, I could say, okay.
All right. So
Well, I
Hydra
have discard.
running into this Maui and just trading for
Another
Gerald's board.
one-sided Be
Yeah.
Prepared. Regeki, if you will, if you're Gerald. And we know Gerald did not have a be prepared because he was looking for one.
Right.
So we're free to just run out our board.
Yeah, so we run out everything. We have this Flynn Rider that now that we have the guest on might be able to actually get us that lore, and if it does, the game ends. Actually, we just have
We have
we
four
have
in play.
full lethal in play, right?
Yeah. Which is why I played the Rapunzel instead of another guest on.
That makes sense.
Because you just wanted to say check.
Yeah. Yep.
Gerald does have a brawl. He's
Okay.
considering. He has to consider. Do I want to be playing around this Flynn Rider all game?
Yeah. Well, so if all you have is the brawl, you have to clear the Flynn, right? Because clearing the Rapunzel doesn't stop the Flynn from winning.
Right. So he did have
there's
another
the-
character
okay.
that can deal with Flynn, but
And
if
now-
if he's him, I think he's considering maybe I just let him get the 2 lore off Rapunzel because I might not be able to play a big character the following turn.
Sure. But right now, at least, we stop the Flynn from getting the 3 at the beginning of the turn. Like, we
Yes.
have a 2 to tie the 2. So, now it's just...
Yeah, if I'm Brad, I'm just questing and putting a Medusa in play.
Yeah, that sounds good. Put the Medusa into play, clear the Maleficent, make them do more, go to where the Medusa's by itself lethal if we quest for 2, right? She quests for 2.
No, she only quests for 1.
Is it
which-
Tremaine that quests for 2?
Yes, Tremaine
Okay.
quests for 2, which was another big
So maybe we
proponent.
play the Tremaine here. We have Tremaine, right? Isn't that the card at the top?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think that's that's Medusa.
that's Medusa. I thought this one...
That's a brawl.
Is it? Okay. My bad. I thought it was a Tremaine. Alright, well, in any case, we're still, from Gerald's side, forced to clear basically this whole board.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Typical use all my ink and then I can't
And
do
then- yeah.
anything if I actually do draw the card.
Right. But I mean, like, what else are we going to do here? Right?
Yeah, we just scoop it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some times where your opponent is just like 5 minutes deep into
Into a turn that
multiple
doesn't
friends, play rabbit. I mean, everything's exerted.
Sure.
Yeah, so the broom. The broom is a worse Chernobog's followers, but the broom is also a necessary evil.
Okay.
Because Chernobog's followers, if you draw it off the top late game, it can definitely draw a card the following turn.
Yes.
Whereas the broom may not.
Sure. So why are we playing the broom in this case?
We are
Is there-
playing broom because of Bucky. We
Okay.
can't play. We would like to play 1/3s
Sure.
because they don't die to the steel removal.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about in the previous games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playing a 1/3 is completely safe into a Cinderella.
Sure.
But if we play a 1/3 and we don't know our opponent is playing a Bucky deck, we're dead.
Okay.
We've lost the game if they play Bucky on 2
Okay.
because we will run out of cards before we ink 7.
Gotcha.
So our 1-drops have to draw us cards, and that's where Broom and Chernobog's Followers comes into play.
Okay.
Whereas Chernobog's Followers was not the de facto 1-drop even in set 3.
Sure.
It
Yeah,
just,
I didn't start seeing it until round 7.
you would want to play Olaf.
Yes.
And you'd want to play Olaf over Minnie Mouse because you're most likely inking a Amethyst card on 1, so you still haven't given up what deck you're playing.
Okay. What was the other Amethyst deck?
Amethyst Steel.
Okay.
Actually, in Atlanta, I was on a team of 12 people, and 6 of us played Amethyst Steel, 6 of us played Ruby Amethyst. And
Yeah, okay.
one of the big benefits of that was we're all wearing the same jersey. If you saw one person playing a deck, you still had no idea what everyone else was playing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's silly, but
No, I mean-
it's a small advantage.
Yeah, I mean, every percentage point matters when it comes to larger scale events.
Yes, especially like we actually had someone who would scout for us,
Sure.
and so we generally knew what if we were playing against a named opponent, we knew what they were playing.
Gotcha. Yeah, and some people are going to have mixed feelings about whether scouting is okay or moral or yada yada yada.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, at the end of
I
the day-
consider this a team sport
Okay.
until you get to actually playing one-on-one. Otherwise, usually this is why there are super teams in almost all card games.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now there are lines. There have been scandals in the past where people are talking to vendors trying to figure out what people are buying.
Yeah.
Those are probably lines that are going a little too far.
Yeah, that is crazy. I was a vendor for a long time. Actually, Gabriel Nassif purchased Dragon Storms from me at the Worlds.
Oh, that's
Yes,
fantastic.
and he walked up to me with his finger over his mouth, asking if I could keep this quiet before he showed me what cards he needed.
Legit.
Which obviously I could.
Also, that led to one of the best on-camera moments in Magic Pro Tour
Yes,
history. Absolutely. Patrick Chapin versus Gabe Nassif.
And I was live for that.
That's fantastic.
I see we are playing another Mulan to have another Mulan target.
Sure.
Which is, again, just like a 3-cost unassuming card that has to be dealt with.
Quest for 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, normally I would not play a B King on any card.
Sure.
Like, just if it did not have a shift target,
Yeah.
we would not be investing a B King that turn, most likely.
Absolutely.
So that is a great reason to have that Mulan in your deck.
Sure.
Disrupting your opponent is so helpful.
Yeah, and that is something that the Ruby Amethyst deck does very well, and why the deck is so popular in the game.
And there was the Mulan.
Yep. So if sure.
Yeah, Mufasa is just one of the best cards in this matchup. It's probably the only reason Mufasa is still in the deck. Otherwise, I think Perdita is just strictly better.
Yeah, yeah. That said, Flynn chilling at this castle. Gerald.
Yeah, if I'm
pretty far
Gerald,
ahead here.
if I'm Gerald, I'm thinking this game is over. Gerald was on the play this time.
Bradley with no lore so far.
Yeah.
Like, we don't even care that this Flynn isn't getting us lore at the beginning of the turn, right? Like,
Right. It's drawing us a card.
It's drawing us a card. It's gaining us 1 lore.
It's effectively protecting the castle.
Yeah.
Because if it's challenged, the castle is not challenged.
Exactly.
And this is why Brad's deck is not good against Amber Steel, actually, because you're typically only playing like one big character a turn.
Sure.
And whereas the Amber Steel deck is dumping their entire hand and then playing a whole new world to reset the hands.
Right. Yeah, Bradley definitely more on a here's this one impactful card, or here are 2 low impact cards.
Yes, and with a lot of stores doing the best of 2 format, Mufasa is all but dead in that.
Sure.
Because you are guaranteed not to win a die roll, because there are no die rolls.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically saying the Mufasa decks are really bad on the draw.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier for your opponents to answer your cards on curve.
Sure. And if you're only playing best of 2, you're guaranteed to be on the draw for at least one of those games. So even if you can easily win the game that you're on the play, the game you're on the draw is significantly worse.
Yeah, you'll end up with most likely somewhere around 18 points when the day is over.
Can I say something simple about, I really like the way Bradley keeps his board separated. Every time he plays a character, he puts it in what I'm going to call the center row on his playmat. And anything that he
the
can
drawing,
use,
yes. And
he just keeps everything nice and cleanly separate so that there's never any confusion. Like, you can look at his board at any moment and know exactly what can and can't be used and what came into play on a given turn.
Yes.
I really like it's simple, but I appreciate it.
Whereas later, I believe I'm on camera, and it is a mess.
It's just
it is going to be an absolute mess when I'm on camera. Also, I said 18 points. I meant to say 27. I apologize for that.
Sure. Either way, not the 40-something required.
Yes.
Okay. Now this Sisu comes into play and destroys all characters' power.
All opposing characters power 2 or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So what matchups would you say that this Sisu shines in?
Against Bucky. Because they cannot take it with Ursula.
Sure.
It is the reason that Ed just won the most recent DLC in Texas.
Okay.
It is very good against Ursula decks. You just have an unassuming 1/4 plus however many cards in your hand Sisu in play, which is borderline unkillable unless they have a Zeus.
Absolutely.
So when they go to look at your hand with Ursula, for your Be Prepared, and you have a Sisu, there's just like not that much that they can do about
Sure,
it.
and that clears out the Diablo, the Bucky.
Yes.
The
Even in a hidden cove, it clears out the Buckies.
Okay.
Because typically, if you can be prepared on 7, the game's usually over.
Okay.
So
But getting to
being
7
able,
against the Bucky is the
yeah,
problem.
that's the whole game. The game changes. It's no longer a race of lore. It's a race of me getting enough ink before you get rid of my entire hand.
So that goat seals this game, right?
Yes, there's nothing that Brad can do to reduce the
Yeah.
lore.
Yeah, so even like we can clear the castle, that doesn't matter. The goat existing means the game's over.
Yes.
So we're gonna read some cards.
I'm gonna get to 12. I'm guaranteed to go to 20 either way.
Yeah, Gerald is actually explaining it to him now.
Yeah.
I've played a couple times with Brad. Great guy. More social gamer.
Yes, very much so. Congratulations to him, though. Also in our previous set championship, did make it all the way into the finals, I believe. Just he got some good pairings and rolled with it.
Awesome.
So he was either top 4 or finals. So like, I agree that he tends to be more of a social gamer than like a try-hard gamer. But he does play reasonably well, and you
Yeah.
know, if the pairings fall your way and you're playing pretty okay, you can get pretty far. So, but he is also definitely the kind of person that's going to bring a deck like this rather than something that is more a known meta quantity.
Yeah. This
know.
also could play to your strengths, where
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
opponent just has,
What-
was not preparing for this
Exactly.
at all.
You know, we talked about this as well. The like taking full advantage of this Rapunzel by having cards like this Mulan, right?
Yeah.
That
I'm
has
shocked
this-
he's inking the Juliettas when he has the Mulan. That's the combo. You remove the 2 damage and draw a card.
Okay,
It's a mini Rapunzel.
gotcha. How much does the Julieta cost?
3.
Sure. So it's a quicker Rapunzel, but can't draw as many cards.
Yes.
Sure. That's fair.
But-
Maybe he might also just he might have the Rapunzels and know he's trying to set it up. I don't see them though.
No, I'm seeing 2 Mufasas now. He did.
Down to 1 Mufasa.
Yeah. Flynn Riders.
Second Flynn.
Which
I
these
mean-
Flynns are going to gain a lot of
Yeah,
lore.
like-
Wow, Gerald did not have a 1 or a 2 drop.
Correct.
Gerald does not play 3 drop, I believe, aside from Sisu, which I think he just drew.
He better have 1.
Okay.
Okay. That still turns off the
okay.
Flynns.
I was thinking like you can't play Fox this turn, like, and I was also trying to think of cards bigger than 2.
Sure. Yeah, Queen to turn off the Flynns is still going to be impactful given how insane Bradley's start would have been if Gerald just didn't.
Yes, I really would have liked that turn to have had a Julieta and inked the second Flynn
Yeah.
or the Mulan. He's playing off curve now,
Yeah.
and he's inked both Mufasas,
Yeah, he
which
sure
I find
has.
interesting in this matchup. They're really good protection for like Bee King Undisputed. Medusa isn't gonna want to banish it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mufasa, one of the few cards in the game that doesn't actually care how it gets banished. It's still
Yeah.
going to do the thing. As opposed to like a Robin Hood that has to be banished in a challenge for you to get to draw a card. Or similar. So, Gerald, gonna need to find a way to clear out some of this board. Rabbit, draw a card. We're still not...
Well, we can trade for the Mulan. I would definitely.
We can trade for the Mulan, or we can trade for one of the Flynns and just get it out of here.
Yeah.
I think
I would definitely
Gerald agrees with
clear
you.
the Mulan. Because the Flynns, I feel like even if you just leave one to play, if it ever gains another 3,
The
game's
yeah.
probably over. So what's 6 when?
It's 6-3, same thing. We're gonna die.
Yeah. Drew Julieta.
Okay. So good thing we cleared that Mulan then.
Yes, and there were no other
Yeah,
inkables.
and now we just...
Now he actually has nothing else to play.
Sure.
Throwing caution to the wind here, I would have probably just quested with the Mulan
Yeah.
because the rabbit can.
The
eat.
rabbit's just gonna eat a Flynn now. Yeah, we see the snake there. We get to eat a Flynn with the rabbit, and then... Oh, okay. Never mind. I was gonna say, and then snake back and draw another card.
Yeah, Gerald is worried about this Mulan shift,
Sure.
which
Okay.
again, it changed how he
Yeah,
played.
it did. It did. Instead of getting the extra card advantage off the rabbit, he made sure to clear the Mulan with the Maui.
Yes, I also would have just quested with the rabbit.
Bradley just drawing these cards like just
Well,
a hair out of sequence.
At least
huh?
he needed an ink.
That's
At least
true.
it's inkable.
That's true. What does he have? Hydra and Medusa
Hydra
there?
and Medusa.
Yeah. I did that thing where I tilted my head to try to see better, even though it's.
I just did a set review video and the locations were sideways and I had to tilt my head on
Yeah,
camera.
let's go.
Yeah, I'm definitely just slamming a Hydra here.
Yeah, it's
if
got to
I
be,
can.
right? Like, the
Yeah.
Medusa doesn't matter. The Medusa clears a rabbit, but he gets to draw a card. I think I agree. Just slam the Hydra. Nope.
Yeah, because if Gerald is like doing things like bouncing rabbits around when he's at 0 lore, that's also a losing game. So I
Yeah.
would just let my opponent have that option.
Questing
Whereas
with
the
the
Hydra
Flynn here.
quested. Yeah, this is a free clear.
Yeah, and, like, we got to have another Madam Mim, right? Something. No, but we have a castle.
This is
We have a... Okay, sure.
yeah, that was another thing that Flynn was protecting your other characters.
Yeah.
This is the moment where Gerald is the pirate in the meme with the fingers and he says, "I am the Flynn deck now."
Yeah. So
But
here's
he
the...
does have a Hydra to
He
keep
does have
the
the
Flynn
Hydra,
down.
which does, stop the Flynn from gaining 3. Quest for 1, yep.
On the board. Congratulations.
Ugh,
Oof.
that one stung.
Yeah, throwing away the Flynn is snowballed into
Yeah.
a probably unwinnable game now.
We're at
we have nothing
14,
that.
but we just have nothing.
Yeah, like if you can get to 18, you can always top deck a Super Goof.
Sure.
But
It's a Sisu that looks
Oh.
real. Yeah, I guess okay.
if we, I mean, we can't. Well, we're gonna have to play the little Sisu, and then yeah, we're just gonna have to try to shift it the next turn. Gerald
Does it
does
only
gain
work
3
if
here.
it shifts?
No, but it costs 8.
Oh, Jesus, never mind.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it basically only works if it's shifted.
Yeah, okay.
Or if you have a Gaston in play. Otherwise, it's so difficult to get to 8.
Did not realize that card cost 8.
Yep.
Okay.
And he's just not even going to let him have a
Yep.
shift target,
No,
which
and-
is
and
smart.
That feels correct.
We're going to, now have to ink twice? I'm pretty sure the card is just dead in
gross.
hand, and there goes another one.
Okay. That's tough.
We're doing the poker thing, where it's like, yeah, I have deuce 7, but let me pretend I have to think a little. Which is acceptable to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think
like,
it's...
I'm not making fun of him for it.
No, not at all.
It's just kind of like, if
That's
you
what you
always
have to
pass
do.
quickly
Exactly.
when you have bad cards, but
Right.
you always think when you have good ones.
Yes. Yeah, you either have to do both quickly or neither quickly.
Yes.
You need to have the same mannerisms whether you top deck the best card in your deck or the worst.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
so
God.
much. All right. 2 that's about to be 7.
Oof.
Yeah, like we have to play that he drew a Sisu, right? Like,
Yeah.
He drew the baby Sisu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just
So we
have
have to
to-
play that. But then what? So we take the turn, we gain 5, go to 17, 18. The game's over. We actually just have 20.
So this is a total of 6. 7.
Yeah, so the Flynn gains 3,
Yeah,
right?
the
Because
Flynn gains 3, the
because
castle
Gerald
gains 2.
puts it in the bag how he
Yes.
wants it to resolve. Yeah. So he's not going to have the cards.
How much did you
And
have?
Yep.
oh, it's me.
There we go. You're on camera.
Yeah, let's see
You
if I
made it.
embarrass myself.
All right, so here we go. It's kind of the same note as last time. So we have tables 1 and 2 intentionally drew. They were both locked for top 8. Makes sense. This is the match from table 3. Bradley is on a record of 2 and 2, but has the best tiebreakers among all of the 2 and 2s.
Yes, so we actually have to play this round.
Right,
Whereas I was undefeated but had 2 draws
Exactly.
and got severely pared down because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's just what it is. That's what
Yeah.
you get for drawing with your friends.
Yes, yes.
But it is what it is. Winner of this match pretty cleanly into the top 8.
Yes.
If you win, you are actually tied with first and second, both of whom are at 302 after being the only 3-0s. And if Bradley wins, again, he's not technically a lock, but so many things would have to go wrong with tiebreakers for him to not make it in with a win here.
Yes.
That it's unfathomable. Like there's no world where he's not top 8 with the breakers that he has.
So, Bradley drew a Mulan, and he has Julieta, but
Okay.
elected to play a Flynn. I actually would have played the Mulan,
Sure.
because then on 3 we're playing Julieta. The Flynn was not going to gain anything because of
Right.
Mr. Smee.
Yeah.
Do I forget to put a damage on it? Like a terrible person.
So
I am?
I would have put a note if you don't remember at all. So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that means you grab a dice at some point.
There
There
we
you
go.
go. See, everything's fine.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at adding the notes when they're relevant.
Yeah. He also just saw that I have a grab your swords.
Yes, which is going to make him play around the fact that you have that with the Singer 5, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's a Gaston. Questing here doesn't really accomplish anything.
And I'm
Doing nothing doesn't really accomplish anything.
and you can see how excited I am to definitely be clearing that Gaston if I want to.
Yeah.
And,
He
and instead I
swings the
drew.
Flynn into the Smee to clear
Yeah,
that.
which is smart.
Yeah, I agree. Like, questing doesn't do anything, doing nothing doesn't do anything, so we might as well get something out of this Flynn.
Yes, I drew a
Zeus.
Zeus, which was perfect because then I didn't need to use 2 cards to clear the Gaston.
Sure.
I'm definitely clearing that Gaston.
Yeah.
As soon as possible. I don't care how many cards it takes from me. It's too scary to let my opponent jump from turn 3 to turn 6.
So what exactly does that Gaston do?
It reduces the cost of the next character you play by 2.
Oh,
Yeah, and I have a whole new world in my hand, so
Yeah.
I know that we're resetting the hands, so I just need my opponent to play small characters.
sure. There's that super groove.
Yep. And he's going to gain 2 lore off of it. He needs to exert it and put 2 damage on it.
Sure. He, did you say he
Perfect.
gets 2 lore off of it?
Yeah, whenever he challenges a character.
Oh, oops, I missed that.
You probably thought it was banished, that's all.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to clear that off the board.
Sure.
I'm going to empty my hand as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. You said you have the whole new world.
Yeah.
Looks like discarding.
He thought it went on the bottom of the deck. We figured that out.
Yeah. Quick
No
catch.
problem.
Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Also, the cards were upside
Yes.
down comparatively, which makes it
Very,
even easier.
very helpful.
So, yeah. And you just have 4,000
Yeah,
permanents in
this is
play.
how this matchup should go.
Sure,
It's like a borderline buy for me.
Yeah.
Again, if he would have played the Mulan into the Julieta, it would have been a lot harder.
Yeah.
Now that I'm looking back at it. I
But
was
again-
very confident going into this matchup because I knew what he was playing, and
Okay.
I just know the match is so good for me.
Yeah. But, and this, again, we talked about it a moment ago. Bradley, much more of a social gamer. Like, a pretty
Yes.
good gamer, but, like, he's not going to come into it with metagame knowledge of, like, what the proper sequencing is in each matchup. So he's going to come in, he's going to have whatever game plan he has, and he's going to try to execute it to the best of his ability. But with Bradley, I might be wrong here, so I apologize if I am. But I don't think he's going to be adapting his gameplay match in, match out at this point.
Yes. Also, I definitely would, if I'm on his side, I'm definitely playing the 3-cost Sisu. Looked
Okay.
like he also had the 6. I actually made a comment when he played the Mulan and the Rapunzel. I said, all right, I'm going to have to wheel again.
Sure.
That's another big thing, is like they're leveraging the Rapunzels and Julietas, and I'm resetting our hands whenever I feel it's advantageous.
Yeah, so if he's got just too many cards or you think he's sculpting a hand, we just dump the whole thing.
Yep. I actually have the wheel, but I feel like my hand is so strong, I'm just going to clear his board and quest instead of
Instead
wheeling.
of reset it. That's fair.
Yeah, because the scariest thing he can do is Medusa, but
Sure.
the queen has 4 power.
Yes. All right. So boop that. You had 4 characters, so you couldn't quite clear the Rapunzel with it.
Right.
Sure.
Which I don't even know if I would have wanted to.
Yeah, just like saying that you didn't necessarily have the option, whether or
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
Yeah. So Bradley does have a pile of cards in hand.
Right. And again, they can usually play like one good card a turn.
Sure.
Whereas I just played 3. And I believe I can play my entire hand next turn.
It would surprise me if you can't. Between, 6 ink already there, 2 Singer 5s.
Yeah. Yeah. The deck is... If every card was inkable, the deck would be unbeatable.
Yes.
I can firmly stand behind that statement.
Yeah, and even then, like, the Steel Song deck does a very good job at playing kind of on, like, the lower to mid end of uninkables compared to what is, generally speaking, mathematically acceptable if you wanted to hit inks 1 through, 7.
Yeah, I think I have 19 in this tournament on
Okay.
inkables.
All right.
Yeah, so I just got to pretend it's a Magic deck. I have 41 lands in my
Yeah,
deck.
yeah.
Also, I make this comparison a ton, but I'm not usually sitting next to an accomplished Magic player. This is the Affinity deck, in my opinion.
Yeah, all right.
Sometimes I'm Signal Pest Memnite Beatdown.
Okay, okay.
And the deck looks real bad when it's like, I have a bunch of little things and no shifters at all.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just like pop off with Thoughtcast and you'll go Vague Blast everything. And by Affinity, I mean the last time I played, which was like 2015.
Fair enough. Yeah, sometimes you're relying on your 0-1 to pump everything and do good, and sometimes you just have 2 cranial platings and your opponent does.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god. Jesus.
Yep, played my
What
whole
in the
hand.
world?
Played my entire hand and Whole New World.
Played your whole hand, whole new world, going to gain 3 extra lore over the course of the next turn
Oh.
cycle. Yeah, that was...
and I could keep singing if
Yeah,
I wanted.
sure, sure. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, exactly. Just
And-
quest for 2.
Yeah, and I can clear this
I
Rapunzel.
was gonna say, I'm like, you also get to shrink. Yep.
Yeah.
Boop.
Like, the scariest thing
Jesus.
Brad could do is Sisu, which still keeps my queen in play,
Yes.
and obviously my 4 passive lore gainers.
Yes. Yeah, it clears Queen, Ariel, Robin Hood, but keeps the big queen.
Yeah,
and
that-
like you said, you have triple flute and Pride lands with 7 cards in your hand.
Yep, I put the dice on it
Yeah,
for
I
the
see
stream.
that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I've been on stream a couple times.
Jeez. Yeah, because you whole new worlded and didn't actually play anything
Right,
after. You just
exactly. I used all of my ink to the best of my ability.
yeah.
Which
Bradley
I just
kind of like
yeah.
trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't even blame him.
I feel
Like,
bad at this point. I think I said it. Like, I'm sorry, man, that this is on camera. There's nothing really egregious he could have done to change it. It's just
Yeah.
such a bad matchup for him.
Maui's exerted. Yep, there you go.
That was the best he could actually do.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible.
I think that is also very smart. I would probably would have done the Robin
I
Hood.
would, yeah, I
but
was gonna say it's probably the Robin Hood
I
here. but-
inked. I know I inked a big Robin Hood at some point.
Yes.
Maybe that's on his brain, but yeah, not doing the aerial I think is smart.
Yeah,
The
like
singing 5 is irrelevant at this point. If I play
Yeah.
any song, the game's over.
there's the Robin Hood. So again, it's a 50-50, right? Like
Yeah.
you just kind of got to guess and hope you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just a real quick. You have the lower total to finish out the game that turn, I think.
Yep.
Robin Hood quest for 2, the whatever was left over quest for 1. That's 3 flutes, or another 3. That's 6, and the Pride Lands put you up to 14, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like huge props to Brad for getting rid of a goon instead of the aerial. The aerial looks so good.
Yeah,
but
the aerial
goons
looks
are
scary. Like, you know
kind
the
of
deck is
better.
kind of built around aerial, so, like, a natural thought process can be the deck is built around her, clear her.
Yes.
But yeah, once you've already got everything else in play in a full hand, yeah, she's way less relevant.
So I inked a Ursula on my first turn.
Okay.
I have another Ursula. I think Ursula is so good
This is
in
the Singer
this
4,
matchup.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah,
Robin Hood
people are
keeping...
definitely going to be upset that my ink is in the front.
Yeah.
People hate it. But I can put my hand down freely.
It's true. I love that you are talking about salting people off.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Honestly, yeah, and I even mentioned this. You're talking to me in this match, and I even mentioned it was like, "Are you cheating? No, I don't care."
Yeah.
Like, are all of your game actions legal? Because that's realistically the only thing I care about.
First thing that peeled off was the Zeus. Being
That's
able to get rid of that
pretty good.
Gaston is so good.
Get rid of the Gaston with the Singer 4 right here.
Yeah.
And that's realistically
Ursula's
the
so
reason
strong.
to have that Ursula, right? Like you just need the one of...
You know, it's like it's actually one of the best cards in the mirror, because if they play a turn 1 Cinderella, just
Sure.
don't play anything on turn 1 and then play an Ursula. They have
Okay.
nothing that can deal with
can't
the
just clear
Ursula,
it.
and then your Ursula can sing a storm on their Cinderella.
Sure.
It's like the ultimate trump card. Ursula also has 4 health,
Yes.
which with Rapunzel is very good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
she
I'll
can
challenge your
take
snake.
a little bit of a hit.
Yeah, I'll challenge your snake. I'll draw 3. Probably shouldn't have quested with your snake.
Fair enough. Yeah, and again, like that Ursula is kind of only in here to be that, to bridge that gap, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have your 1-drops that are either shift targets or singers like Cinderella herself. And then you have your 3-drop songs and your Ariels. So you need, your 2-drops need to fill a very specific role. In Smee's case, it's just being a body that quests well,
And then it self damages.
and it self damages to help out Rapunzel. And then in Ursula's case, being able to sing, even if you're only on the 2 Zeuses, she can sing all of your 3-drops and the Zeuses, and as you just pointed out, can play the bit where she damages by challenging, and
Yes.
then has damage because she has so much willpower for Rapunzel to be able to do something.
So Brad just ran 2 of his characters into my Ursula,
Yeah.
killing one of them.
Yeah.
And I think he was absolutely right to do so.
Okay.
Yeah, he had no idea, but I had grab your swords,
sword.
so I was clearing his entire board anyway. So getting something off the board was actually quite good for him.
Yeah. And you are down to 2 cards, so if you don't
Yeah.
already have the whole new world rolled up, we're playing that game, whole new world waiting room.
And Brad's hand was so poor this game. I remember, like, he doesn't
4
ink
ink
here.
do nothing.
Yeah,
That's bad. Like, not bad, like he did something wrong, just bad, like...
and I had a
that's
whole new
rough.
world, and I
Yeah.
chose not to.
Yes. Yep. Did you draw it for turn? Do you
No,
know?
I had it already.
Okay. But because he did nothing, there's no reason to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I played the second aerial, I didn't hit off of it, but I was actually just looking for an inkable song.
Yep. See, and that's another thing. I don't think Ariel gets enough credit for that being, let's say, a mode.
Yeah.
Ariel just being a 3-drop, like, again, magic terminology, a Farhaven elf.
Yes. I was
Like-
I was about to say it's a Farhaven.
Yeah. Like, just, I don't care that I get a song. I care that I get an ink.
Yeah. All right, I hit a song that I'm willing to ink,
Yeah.
and I'm actually hoping he Rapunzel's the
Sure.
Juliet.
Because you're trying to set up this whole new world.
Yeah, it
Like-
would just
His plays were anemic over the last couple turns.
it would waste his entire turn. In
So
my
here's
opinion.
a Julieta, so that he can do kind of the same thing, right? Remove the damage to draw a card.
Yes.
But again, that's probably taking up his whole turn based on the way his turns have played out.
Yep. I was gonna say, if he does that, even if he inks, he's playing nothing.
Right.
I would have just played the Juliet if I was him.
I think so too. You get a second body in play, and if you're like looking for an inkable anyway.
Once he gets to 6 ink, I am thinking his hand has to be multiple Sisus.
Yeah, and there's the top card.
Yeah.
Once he discards,
And-
is a Sisu.
Sisu clears my entire board.
Yes.
So I'm at the point where I'm just willing to discard all of them.
Sure. Oh no, half his deck is shuffled. Upside down.
Yeah, that's probably his inkwell at one point.
Yeah.
Which in this game, way more important than Magic to not shuffle your deck where half the cards are upside down. It's
True.
like a serious thing in this game because
Yeah.
it's most likely all inkable cards.
Yeah.
I was gonna hold around turn 4, but then he didn't play.
Yeah. So here, yeah.
And then I figured
You mentioning the whole new world and then him just taking the turn off to do nothing. Like,
Yeah, it changed my game plan completely.
absolutely. So what are we up to now? We
7.
missed a bunch, but we're up to 7.
Yeah, and
Does,
7
Bradley-
is such an awkward number. There's nothing in the deck that costs 7 except Scar.
Does he not play any Be Prepareds?
No.
Okay.
They typically don't. They play Brawl because Diablo is unbeatable.
Sure.
But other than that,
Yeah.
they don't really want to play anything.
Now he has to clear this Robin Hood, gives you a card. The Ariels are vibing on the Pride Lands.
Yeah, Scar would have been really good for him this turn. It would have cleared Ariel, and then Robin
Probably
Hood,
the
so
Robin Hood,
everything.
yeah. Everything that a challenge can clear, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, he could have actually killed Ariel.
I don't care, but
He could have done Ariel, hit the Pride Lands, and then Julietta kills the Pride Lands.
That's also true, yeah. It leaves you with the Robin Hood, which is not great, but
Yeah, but I'm on 13 lore.
Yeah.
If he doesn't clear the Pride Lands.
yeah.
Honestly, I could have probably not quested for the next 7 turns and won the game.
Yeah,
If I can just control the board.
sure. Yeah, World's Greatest getting to do its thing because Maui is a large fella. Looks like you've got the Strength of a Raging Fire.
Yeah, so I'm worried about
Smee.
Sisu.
Yeah.
I'm
See-
considering, am I singing and then just throwing all of these cards in
I
play?
don't think so. You just quest, right? You just get this game closed out. This is 4, puts you to 17. You have Pride Lands.
Yeah. So, yeah, my biggest concern was how many Sisu does he play? He's going into turn 8.
Sure.
Do I want to overcommit to the board?
Fair enough, yeah. So, yeah, no way to clear your whole board there, and you're at 17 going to 18 with the Pride Lands.
Yeah, the matchup is just too good for me.
Yep, makes sense. So we go to our top 8 cut, and we have Randall back on camera, one of our players who was able to double draw, finished out as the first seed.
Oh, I know who Randall is now. I played him in another set champs. He actually took a game off me.
Okay.
I think he was the only Ruby Amethyst to take a game off me in like 3 tournaments.
Fair enough. All right, and we have Randall versus Shawn, who, after complaining endlessly in round 2, still managed to make his way into our top 8.
Yeah, unfortunately 8th seed instead of 7th.
True,
Because
true,
I was
true.
2nd seed.
Yeah, you were second seed. You got paired with another one of our local players, Rom.
Yes,
Right? Yeah.
I could have used a bye in top 4 instead of playing against Ron.
And Ron was on the Ruby Sapphire deck?
Ron was on anti-dick deck.
Okay, so Ruby
Yeah.
Sapphire.
Well, no, specifically all cards to beat me.
Sure.
Not even the real Ruby Sapphire deck. He was on like 4 Judy Hops, a bunch of Fishbone Quills, and Great Stone Dragons, which you never see together.
Okay.
It was just the Amber Steel is evil. I don't want to play against it deck.
Fair enough.
Oh, Shawn gives up his protection against Flynn Rider.
Yeah.
Not sure what he was looking for.
Yeah, that's a little wild. Well, he did just say he misplayed right off the bat. So
Okay.
Guess we're just going to give him that one.
Some people, the camera helps. Like, I don't want to embarrass myself. I feel like I play a lot better on camera than off camera.
Okay.
But then I've played against other people that, like, I had a former teammate. He could not be on camera. He would have a panic attack,
Okay. Yeah, and
which
I mean,
is understandable
sure,
when you have people critiquing every little thing that you do.
it's true. I do, we do record the matches rather than broadcast them live, so at least
Yeah.
there's not like a live audience yelling at you.
Yeah.
But I understand the anxiety that some people can get. My personal record on camera is somewhere in the 50-50 range. I know my big one on camera was a top 4 at a Star City event, and they brought us back the next day to play out the top 4,
Yeah.
as opposed to running through all the rounds of the Swiss and the top 8 on day 1 basically. And I'm not a morning person.
Most gamers are not.
I play so badly on camera. It is wild. My only saving grace is that my whole deck was foil. The camera quality wasn't very good, and nobody knew what I had in my hand.
Okay. Wow. If I'm Randall here, I feel like we're ready to go to the next game.
You just give up the Flynn, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but having a castle.
Yeah, we have a castle. The
gosh.
Sisu's enormous. The B King undisputed cleared a Flynn. Which, I mean, to be
Castle's-
fair, we had to clear the Flynn, but, like, look at that war total.
Yeah, castle's so good in the mirror.
Oh, this
too.
game's
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Yep.
Shawn not even going to take the draw.
That gets
Like,
the medal for fastest game of the day.
Yeah, and in a Ruby Sapphire, or I'm sorry, Ruby Amethyst mirror,
Yeah.
no less.
It's either going to be a 5-minute game or like a 40-minute game. There's
No
like
in
no in between. Yeah, and being on the play is a huge benefit.
Sure. How valuable do you think the 1-drops are in the mirror?
That always feels good.
It depends. It depends on if you have Sneak and Fox.
Okay.
That's really important. Honestly, if I could sculpt a hand, I'm probably like putting all of them in my opening hand so that I have ink.
Sure.
And I'm not drawing them later in the game.
That's fair.
Like even when they were Olaf, like the perfect hand was like 4 Olaf, a Snake, a Fox, and a Friends.
So-
that's too many cards.
So can we look at Randall's real quick? Turn 1 was ink a Chernobog's followers, play a Chernobog's followers.
Yep.
Turn 3 is ink a second Chernobog's followers.
Yeah, and he's not going to draw these random 1-drops later in the game if they
true.
get in the top deck war.
true. Yeah, in fact, he even just picked it up so that
And
he
he's
can
going to
ink
have
it
ink
again,
next
most
turn.
likely.
Yeah.
His inkwell is just
He's
going
not
to be Chernobog's
inking-
followers, the end.
He's not inking cards that are going to matter later.
Right.
As much as I was almost like, oh,
So-
no.
I don't know how much
Great
the...
idea, sir.
How reliant is this deck on the card velocity of something like a Chernobog's followers? Just making sure that it's always digging through its deck. I know they rely a lot on like the Rabbit. They've got the Queen's Castle, the friends on the other side, the Maleficent. Like everything in the deck seems to cantrip.
Yeah, the followers not so important. It's mostly if you have followers in play, it's mostly protection against the edict effects.
Okay.
Yeah. I rarely find a time where I want to even get rid of the followers unless I know one of us is going to be prepared.
Sure.
The Flynn Rider, Shawn was on the play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flynn Rider is okay on the play.
Yeah.
It's
he just
much
never
worse.
had an
Yeah,
opportunity.
he didn't have Sisu.
Right.
But when you're on the draw, your Sisu is going to be smaller than your opponent's most
Correct.
of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, Shawn just never had an opportunity where that Flynn was able to do anything. He's just kind of sitting here. Like he's developing. He's doing okay. He went Flynn into Friends into Rabbit, so it's not like he's using all his ink. But it feels like Randall is just being able to like sculpt a little bit better.
And Randall can quest.
Yeah, Randall's just questing, where Shawn doesn't have that luxury because Randall's characters are just bigger.
Yes, like Goat is actually a really good response to a rabbit
Sure.
because you don't want to just throw your rabbits away for nothing. You want to keep bouncing them around.
Yep.
But when your opponent is on
Yeah.
the
I was
draw
gonna
a
say,
million cards plan,
ink the
your
second
plan is
Flynn for
to
sure.
quest.
There's in B King. Sure.
Yeah, we don't
So,
need
We don't need
snake.
this snake at all. So, like you said, the goat just kind of gets to run into this this rabbit here. We get to quest for 2 still. No, we're just questing.
Yeah, he's not even worried
Yeah.
about it. We're at 9 already.
Yeah. Yeah, we've just gotten
Yeah.
a quest every
Yeah.
turn.
I decided to torture myself.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of like playing chess. You both have the same pieces,
Sure.
but depending on your opponent's opening, you have a different opening.
Yeah, absolutely. And Randall realizing he just has the bigger characters and kind of gets to dictate what's going on.
Yeah. Also, a lot of having
Sure.
to cash 2 in for one character.
Yeah, they
But
do
you
at least
have to.
replace themselves, so.
A lot of Lorcana players have not read Who's the Beatdown. I suggest they do because this is a prime example of that. Like during the set 2, metagame where it was all Ruby Amethyst, I always took the beatdown roll.
Sure.
And I think that was always correct. And I think that was the only reason I was successful. Is because people thought it was a control mirror. And it wasn't. It was an aggro mirror.
Interesting.
And my opponents were just dirtling way too much as I'm questing for a lot. Like the 7-drop Ursula that quests for 3.
Yeah.
That's an aggro card.
Sure.
It costs 7.
Sure.
But in this game, you don't miss your land drops very often.
Right.
So just like putting a 2/7 in play that quests for 3 and drains your opponent for 1.
Yes.
That was like one of the most aggressive cards made.
Yeah, and I remember when that card started like sneaking into the meta, and yeah, it just be like, oh, this just wins the mirror.
Yes.
This card wins the mirror almost by itself.
And this was pre Medusa, obviously.
Yeah. So Shawn, at this point, having done a pretty good job of
called back.
Yeah. Now we have our Flynn, that like with a solid board state. Would you have quested here, or would you just leave the Flynn hanging out so that a Maui or similar doesn't come down and just wipe it out?
I would quest because I think the Lady Tremaine is more valuable.
Okay.
Because you can bounce the Lady Tremaine and replay it.
Sure.
You could also shift Lady Tremaine onto Lady Tremaine.
Yeah, that's true.
And bounce them both.
Oh, that's wild. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that.
That was another big thing was like, I would never, unless I was going to lose the very next turn, I would not be prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Randall
still
agrees
take
with
that.
you.
Yeah, I would not be prepared until turn 9. And I was playing 4 Lady Tremaine, so it's very common on turn 10 to play a Lady Tremaine and then shift Lady Tremaine.
Okay.
And your opponents think they're slick because they'll play a really good character and a really bad one, and you just get rid of both of them.
Sure.
Quest for 1.
So probably bouncing here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bounce, clear the Maui, have our Medusa left over, and here's a castle.
Perfect.
Yeah, Shawn doing a very good job at this point, like just taking this game back over.
Yeah.
And now because we don't have any protection, we leave the Flynn up.
He was the control deck.
Yeah.
He was supposed to take the control line this match, or with the hand that he drew.
Yep, and did a good job of it. Okay, so dueling castles, the rabbit, making it so that the Flynn isn't.
God, this is also why Castle's so good. It's so good when you're the controlled player, and it's even better when you're ahead.
Yeah.
When you're the aggressive player.
13 gets to 20 real quick when you get 2 a turn for free. So, okay, Medusa, clear the rabbit, draw a card. Flynn probably has to go in on this castle here. Like, we need to get some damage on it, right?
Yeah, it depends because next turn we are gonna attack it with Medusa, right? If
Which
you
is 4.
if you have nothing with Rush, then yeah, you have to put
Yeah.
2 on the castle.
Quest for 1 and move him to the castle. So we're not putting the 2 damage over.
Yeah, so I can't see his hand, but if he has Fox
Sure.
or Maui, then that's correct.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just overkill.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Edict, probably.
Gotta lose a Flynn.
Yeah.
It's not worth the 3 points, Shawn. There you go.
Because we need the Medusa to clear the castle, right?
Yeah.
That's sure. Okay, so just Randall continuing the velocity that I was talking about earlier, just all of his cards just getting more cards, right?
Yeah, that's a huge thing. Like Maleficent's so strong because it's fine to just throw it away. Questing it already drew you a card.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's the Fox.
Yep,
Exactly
there we
like
go.
you said. So just
So we
in
didn't
one-
need the Flynn. It
Yeah.
would have been overkill.
Yep. So, Shawn identifying that correctly. Nice. Making
Man,
sure.
Shawn is doing such a good job.
Yeah. Yeah, Shawn is playing this game very well. He's gonna love hearing this. You know that? Like his ego is
Yeah?
ridiculous. He's
Okay.
gonna love this.
I mean, yeah, I joke and say I joke and say it's a buy, but that's just the matchup.
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
him specifically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I also had a buy against Josh right after I played Shawn.
Sure.
And I lost one of the games. I was stuck on 2 ink till turn 7.
Yeah.
I felt like I was still in it.
Okay. All right. So Maui coming in, clearing this Fox. Maleficent just sang friends on the other side, I think, and then
Yes.
Rabbit drawing an extra card. So Shawn,
Yeah, we're just
sitting
trying
back
to keep-
behind this castle.
We're just trying to keep the characters on board.
Yep.
If we're Randall.
Yeah.
If he could have kept one of those goats until later in the game instead
Sure.
of the 2 it gained earlier, I think Randall would have easily closed the game out.
Just
if
by
you
virtue
just
of
have
being able
goat,
to flip the goat back
yeah,
and forth.
goat
Yeah,
bounce.
sure. All right. Shawn with some decisions here. So what do we see? I see a Tremaine.
I can only see a Tremaine.
That's all I got.
So if he's going to Tremaine, he's going to want to take out Maleficent first.
Yep, and he does. Man,
He's
look
so
at this.
smart.
Look at this.
Now we use 6.
Okay. Love this. And a second castle, too. Yikes.
You know what?
This Maui's got some work to do.
I don't even think I do that. I think I just move both my characters into the castle,
Just
and
draw
then
the
the
extra
following
cards. Yeah, but
hope to draw the extra cards, and then the following turn still have goat and castle.
Yeah, but if Randall has a second Maui or a fox, he just clears the thing that you wasted your turn putting characters on, right?
Yeah, but then he used his whole turn doing that, and you still have the second castle and the goat in your hand.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. But
It's hard.
Like right now, we're at 9 lore, right? And we have
Yeah.
7 showing.
Randall is still way ahead just from the amount of cards in his hand.
That's true. He does need to figure out how to clear up this board. Friends on the other side ain't it. Like, yay card advantage. I love card advantage as much as anybody.
Well, he did get the fox.
Yep. Which is going to reset the Maui's damage. But he can't fox and Maui, right? He's short.
Right. I believe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yep.
1, and
He
so
can ink
play
still,
an
but
ink,
he's short.
He's 1 short
Yeah.
because he had to play the friends. He didn't have the fox already, I think.
Right.
So, I think it's still correct to reset the Maui, right? Like,
Yeah, I would definitely take out that castle.
Yeah, we have to clear one of the castles. Yeah. So, Shawn will only be drawing 1 card this turn. Probably going to have to trade off with the Maui if it doesn't get reset. Okay, this is interesting. Was this the game that we led on triple Chernobog's followers? We just found the 4th one?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I believe so.
I think so too.
Yeah, I definitely would have want this Maui back in my hand because it just eats the chair ladies
Yeah.
the following turns. I definitely still would have played the followers
back.
and the fox, but I would have a Maui in my hand at this point.
Yeah, I think so too.
Also, playing the followers and then replaying the followers cost him 2. He has another friends. He would have had 1 more ink and could have played friends this turn.
If he bounced the Maui.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which one's trading for this Maui? Because I think we have to clear this Maui, right?
I think the fox is the most important out of between Maui and fox. Like this chair lady, I would probably just run into the fox.
You think so?
Yeah. Well,
So why the fox and not the Maui?
because fox and snake are a constant loop
Okay.
that you're just gonna get so stuck behind. It's like it's insane. Like he has so much ink. If he has a snake, he just uses fox.
Okay. Quest for 1 fox.
Okay. Get
I
rid
like
of
this.
Chernobog.
Yeah. Get rid of Chernobog.
Yeah, he has so much ink that he could just deal 4 to the castle.
Yeah.
He could.
And now, do we want to clear this fox and just keep the board completely clear?
Okay, so he should have ran the Medusa into the fox, right? And then returned the Lady requested a Lady Tremaine, returned that and replayed it.
Sure.
But
This is assuming
Yeah.
that he wants to clear the fox and not the Maui.
no, he could have cleared all 3, but he would be down a Medusa.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
There's the.
It's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, no worries.
So we could have played Fox, returned Lady Tremaine, Fox into Maui, Medusa into Fox, and then played Lady Tremaine, and he would have had to sacrifice Chernobog's followers.
Okay.
And then we would have no damage on our castle.
Gotcha. So, all right. So we friends on the other side. We picked up 2 cheap characters, played both of them, moved both of them over to the castle.
Yeah,
Right
which was
now,
like
the castle isn't
ideally
getting
what he
cleared.
could do.
Yeah, that was as top decks go. That's a pretty good one, right?
Yeah.
So Randall looking for a fox or a Maui to clear this castle, right? Like that's kind of where we're at here.
Yes.
If we clear the castle, we're in good shape. If we don't clear the castle, we're probably way behind. That's what it feels like from where I'm sitting, and maybe you disagree. There's the Flynn gone. That doesn't matter so much.
Yeah, I actually would have just sneaked the Maleficent and played the Maleficent again and get another shot at Fox or Maui.
Sure.
Because he could always brawl this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, one card. There you go.
Revealed a card to our opponent.
Yeah. Well, clearing both of the characters still denies Shawn draws.
Yeah.
14 to 16 isn't as scary if he's not
He
getting
didn't
the cards in his hand.
ink yet. He could put a. He could just put a Flynn in play, right, and say check.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Oh,
Oof.
Flynn in play would have done it.
Yeah. But yeah, so Snake plus Fox is just attack with Fox, bounce it with Snake, play Fox,
Yeah.
return the Snake, attack again,
Yeah,
play the Snake. It just never stops.
sure. So this game looks like it's boiling down to like one or two decisions, and like I think Shawn played very well this game, but there are a couple
You just
very
paid one too much for Maleficent.
1, 2. He's got 6 played altogether. Yeah, you're right. I don't think it ultimately matters,
Yeah.
but yeah, he did. Yeah, that's tough. Okay.
And Shawn just drew worse at the end of it.
Yeah.
Man,
Yep.
That was a good back and forth.
It was. Shawn played very well to come back from a good aggressive start by Randall. And Randall kind of kept his composure, kept a lot of cards in hand, and was able to kind of clear what Shawn was doing to provide pressure.
Yeah, and that was another example of the 5-minute game or the 40-minute game.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
right, so
we've
Randall-
got Randall again.
Yep, Randall staying on camera because he is the first seed, and this is against your friend, right?
Yep,
Willobeez?
this is Willobeez. This is my podcast partner on the Lore Chronicles.
Okay.
She flew all the way here from Florida because I don't know anything about computers, and she bought. I bought the computer. She set it all up for me.
Very nice, very nice.
She also will do ink in front like me.
Excellent. We get more of this on camera. But yeah, so flying up from Florida, congratulations on coming in, getting a top 8 immediately, and now a top 4 finish, right? So this
Yeah.
is
And-
we are officially in the top 4, so everybody who we see from now on has the fun promo card.
Yes, and
Nice.
spoiler, you won't see me again. I was
Soundly
swiftly defeated.
As Dick mentioned, he was paired with our good buddy Ron in
Yes.
the quarterfinals, who decided to slap around specifically Steel Song.
Yes, I believe his wins in the Swiss were Steel Song, a friend.
Okay.
And then in top 8, beat Steel Song.
Nice, nice.
It was a meta call.
Yeah, yeah. 3 and 2. He got into the top 8 on breakers. There were I
Yeah.
think 3 or 4 3 and 2s.
I believe me and Willobeez and then me and Tyler doing intentional draws really shook up.
It messed with the standings and the pairings wildly.
Yeah. So he could thank me later for him making top 8.
Again, I think we had like 19 or 20 players or something.
Yeah.
So like top 8 is slightly better than half. So a winning record with good tiebreakers. Basically, don't lose in the first 2 rounds and you'll be okay.
Yes. This is a great setup for Willobeez because a brawl seems pointless.
Oh yeah.
It's not pointless. I would still brawl if I could, but it feels pointless.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, if we shift into grab your swords, just how bad do you feel?
God.
I would actually just brawl the queen
Okay.
because it's the non-redundant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Game theory. When you thought seize your opponent, take the non-redundant cards.
Yeah. I mean, this is the only reason I'm good at this game. I predict in the next 2 to 3 years, I'll be a mediocre player.
Sure.
And the people that started in this game, whose brains are developing in this game, will outclass me.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, a brand new TCG coming out. We're kind of been around for about a year now.
Yes.
when you've got games like Magic, like Yu-Gi-Oh, like Pokemon that have been around for 20 plus and Magic 30 years, there's a lot of game theory that has been developed that translates over to this game.
Yes.
So even though the game itself is new and does have some unique aspects, and that's what makes it enjoyable to people over some of these other games as well, the game theory still translates. So these competitive players coming from other games are going to have, at least for now, a leg up on the competition because they have that years of game theory already kind of like solidified in their minds.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have some friends that this is their first game, and
Yeah.
they're like, "Get me better."
Okay.
And I'm like, "Well, I spent the first year playing Magic not winning even a casual game.
Yep.
I just kept getting beat up. I then spent a few years grinding PTQs, playing against people that were better than me.
And
I'm not
then-
sure how I can get you better overnight, but I'll try my best."
Sure.
And I'm not even trying to be rude to them. It's
No,
just
it's-
I don't know how.
Yeah. No, at the end of the day, like, you get better by playing against people that play better than you and see what you're doing that they wouldn't have been doing.
Yes.
And that's something, like, I think every card game player plateaus at a certain point.
Yeah.
And the only way to break that plateau in a lot of cases is to find somebody better than you. The term big fish in a little pond is something that comes up a lot in competitive card games.
Yes. I like when I go to locals, I try to just play my most fun deck.
Sure.
Because I don't want to be like, "Oh no, I always beat this matchup." And it's like, well, they might not be as competitive as I am.
Right. Yeah. So Willobeez, again, like, very good start. We've got 2 shifted characters at this point. We've got a flute active. We're up to 4 ink. Everything kind of going the way we want it to go, right?
Yeah, she had a removal spell for the Pegasus that I definitely would have fired off. She had told me she was nervous, by the way. We actually
Okay.
spoke on the phone when I was driving here.
All right.
Just freely gave up the queen to the Pegasus.
Yep. Yeah, and Randall kind of taking this board back over now.
Yeah.
Now he gets to clear the Robin Hood. It does mean Willobeez draws a card.
Again, the Pegasus is so good.
Yeah.
It's hard to fit it into your decks. Like, the decks are so solid.
Yeah, I know Ron
But-
for a while was playing the Rocket Stitch for exactly the reason.
Yep, that was
you-
in there just to beat me. Yeah.
It was in there to clear the queen.
Yeah.
Like that was its job. And I know because I was getting ready for the previous set championship. So I grabbed my wife's Steel Song deck and I was just like trying to grind games, and I knew that the Ruby Sapphire match was terrible. So I was like, "Ron, come beat me up for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I want to see where my points are, where I can potentially pull ahead if somebody's less experienced." And we played for like 2 hours, and I won 1 game.
Yeah.
And I was like, "This is awful."
This was last format, right?
Yes,
So, like,
yeah, this
pre
is
Pride Lands.
pre Ursula's.
Yeah. I think Pride Lands made that matchup a lot more. Like, it used to be you either played Pride Lands or Flute.
Okay,
I think Zach Bivens combining them
sure.
made those matchups a lot more tolerable.
I think we
Still
had
not
Pride
that
Lands
good for you.
for the last set championship. We had Pride Lands. We just didn't have like the deck configuration as it is.
Yeah.
Like, people were playing either Pride Lands
Yes.
or Flute.
Yeah, having like 7 to 8 passive lore gainers really changed things.
Sure. It feels like an adaptation that the Steel Song deck had to take, too.
Yeah, I am now only playing 3 flutes.
Okay.
And I am playing 2 Underworld, which is a 2-cost inkable location with 6 health
Okay.
that gains 1 point each turn. It also has a random benefit. It costs 2 to move to. When you quest with this character, you can pay 3, return a character from your discard pile to your hand.
Interesting.
So you can bring back aerials. It doesn't happen often.
No.
But
and it gets
it
cleared
just-
by Maui.
Yes, but if they spend 5 to clear your 2-cost card,
Sure.
you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
It's more like when your opponent is going into a be prepared turn, you do not want to commit more to the board.
Right.
So if you can just slam 2 or 3 passive lore gainers on that turn, you really put them in a terrible position.
Yeah. It's true. So to get back to the game at hand.
Yes, she has to be feeling scared.
Yeah, Willobeez
at this point.
like, her location has some damage on it. She's down to no characters and 5 ink. Bunch of cards in hand, so like there's still like room to maneuver here. But at this point, Randall is sitting here with 3 characters, a Finn passive that's going to trigger unless we do something pretty major about it. We have the Tremaine, which is 3/4, right?
Yes.
So we need a 3 power or bigger character to stop the Flynn passive.
And if I'm her, I'm thinking, how am I going to ready? Wow, she does nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
How is this?
This is...
Because what is she afraid of?
don't
She
know.
has an Ariel she could have
So we have
played.
Ariel and some songs, it looks like. I'm not sure what we're trying to set up.
I can't wait to call her after this. But yeah, I'm thinking, how am I going to ready with a singer?
Yeah. Yep. Pride Land's out of here. Fox and Snake doing what Fox and Snake do. Just providing this constant pressure that damage never gets put on.
Yeah, she definitely could have put at least one character in play.
Yeah,
I'm
we could have
so
had the
intrigued.
Ariel to dig a little deeper. I think, like, now we have to, right? Like, we have to put something in play. I see a whole new world. I see, I think, a Strength of Raging Fire. Trying to catch, like, the corners of cards. And
Yeah.
just see if I recognize the art.
Yeah, like she had Robin Hood last turn. She could have played.
Yeah, because the draw for this turn was Storm Rage on, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we could have played the Robin Hood just as a 5. We could have played an Ariel and just dug a little deeper and see what we find.
Yeah,
Not sure
and if
what-
our opponent has B King or
Yeah, I
Medusa,
mean-
so be it. We were gonna have nothing anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe that's what we're concerned about in this case, right? We just don't want to play out one character into an edict effect.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
we're
like,
so far behind.
yeah, we got to play something. But that's okay. We'll see how this goes. I'm assuming that 2 isn't the number of cards because I'm pretty sure there are more cards over there. All right, so a whiff on the Ariel, or at least we're not taking a card.
Right.
Sometimes those aren't the same thing. And then a follow-up. Play a second. Okay. Alright, clearing the Flynn is depriving 4 lore.
Drew another whole new world. They always come in bunches.
That's unfortunate. The hand
Her
that,
first 2, she also had 2.
the hand that Drew was joking about when he played in round 2 against Shawn, or maybe it was round 3. His hand that he was mulliganing, he just flashed to me, was double whole new world grab your swords.
Yeah.
And he was like, get these out of here. And then drew
Perfect.
back up from his mulligan and drew 2 more whole new
Oh
worlds.
god. Yeah.
I was like, Jesus.
I can't wait until people in this game stop pile sorting before. By the way, for specific things like that. I ask my opponents, I go, oh, why are you doing that? They go, oh, so I draw better. It's like, oh, okay, judge. No.
So literally, so I can cheat.
Yeah.
Those are the words that came out of your mouth. I know you don't realize those are the words that came out of your mouth.
Yeah. And I don't actually call a judge.
No,
I
but,
just
like-
try to educate.
People take it so personally when you try to tell them, though.
Yeah, I know.
Like, as a judge, it is so difficult for me trying to just, like, let people know why what they're doing isn't what they think they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're not accusing you of cheating. If we were accusing you of cheating, the conversation would be why you're not allowed to play in this tournament anymore. It's not. But you are cheating, you just don't realize it. And
Yeah.
that's why you need to learn before we do have that other conversation.
And that's why they have judge in the name. They're judging, like the situation of like, yeah, we don't need, like, this is an educational moment.
Exactly. Like, we are here to help more often than literally anything else.
Yeah.
Penalties are an unfortunate byproduct of being a judge, but we are here to help.
Yes.
So, Randall taking down that first game pretty convincingly, really.
Yeah.
Willobeez stumbled.
Which is so interesting. He was on the play.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, first seed gets to be on the play as often as they're still in the tournament.
yes.
Which, personally, I'm a fan of that. I do think rewarding your standings in the Swiss is a good thing.
Yeah. I I am rarely in first place, even though I feel like I should be more often than not.
Quit drawing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I'm more of a like everyone have a good time kind of guy. So I end up like sneaking in,
Uh-huh.
and I would love to draw. Although at the SCG in Baltimore, on Friday I was the only person on the draw to win my matches in the top 8
Okay.
at all. And I ended up making it to the finals, and then I was like, oh, there's no trophy? Okay, bye. And we took a photo of me and my friend Scott for SCG.
All right.
I was like, I don't care about getting first place if there's no trophy. And I went to sleep.
Wild. Was the SCG event best of 3 or best of 2?
Best of 3.
Okay.
Yeah, which is I prefer it so much.
I agree. I am not a fan of this best of 2 system.
Yeah.
But I know they're trying to stand out. They're trying to be.
Yeah, there's so much luck involved. Just like, I don't know, like if your opponent has like some crazy tech card that you're gonna fall for once and lose the game, like good on them. They beat you one game, you know about the other one.
Yeah.
But in like a best 2 out of 3, it's not gonna get you
Right.
2 of the games,
Yeah,
most
exactly.
likely. But then in day 2 of the DLCs, it's open deck list. So now you're punished for having crazy decks.
Wild.
Like, oh, day 1, no one knew I didn't have Be Prepared in my deck. Everyone played around it. Well, now you know I don't have it.
Yeah.
You know?
So Willobeez here having one of those starts that you mentioned earlier. We had the Ursula into
Yeah, it's
Let the
just
Storm Rage on?
yeah, it's just a better
Clear the
Cinderella
Pegasus, yeah.
often. And clearing Pegasus huge. There's no way to there's no evasive
Right.
in Willoughby's deck.
Correct.
So there's no other way to clear it.
Yeah, you have to use one of your steel damage cards. So at this point, Steel Song is all the way off of the Shift Cinderella, right? The Stout-Hearted.
Right. Yeah, it's just like you can win the game without 5 ink,
Sure.
and then if your 1/2 doesn't live, which it's like a Swift Breeze is going to take that out.
Yes.
Then especially like in a very heavy
Nice. Big turn for Willoughby's here. Just
yes,
getting rid of her whole hand.
and
I
hoping
believe that Smee is ink. I think that.
yes,
Yeah.
and hoping to draw a World's Greatest Criminal
Oh,
Mind right
absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
Be able to sing it.
Yeah, we still have the Ursula available to sing. I believe we went Queen, so we went 1-drop Queen and Shift onto it
Yes.
that turn, so that Queen can't do anything this turn.
Yes.
But yeah, we found something. Okay, 2 damage. Just draw another card. That does mean now if the Sisu wants to try to clear one of these characters, it's going to be a trade rather than...
Except for the Ursula. Yeah.
Except for the Ursula, yes. But we also got, a card out of our hand, so...
Very unfortunate for Willoughby's. I mean, not only did we have 3 World's Greatest Criminal Minds, but also 4 Strengths
Okay.
that could have taken out the Sisu.
Yes.
She did have a 1-drop Cinderella before drawing
Yes.
the Robin Hood, so she would have had the 1-drops no matter what.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, the Sisu does in fact clear the Ursula, like you mentioned. We do have 2 Singer 5s left in play.
Yeah.
A Brawl is not going to do much here. A King Undisputed isn't going to do much here. We can, looks like Snake to reset the Sisu if we want to. I don't even know if that matters much here.
Yeah. The other, I mean, I'd probably just Snake Flynn, even though Flynn is just throwing away a Flynn.
Yeah,
But a Rabbit.
Rabbit doesn't really matter either.
Oh, he had a Fox. Yeah, I definitely would have Foxed that Ariel.
Did he have a Fox?
Yeah.
Am I missing it? Nope, there it is. It
Yeah.
might be another Snake. Hang on.
Nope, Fox for
Okay,
sure.
yeah.
I would have Foxed that Ariel down.
I guess that's...
the Sisu would be back in your hand. You'd still have something with only
2 damage.
yeah.
I guess one of the things to consider, it's not terribly efficient use of your ink, right? You're only using 3 out of your 4.
Yeah.
I know, like, I play a lot of limited Magic, and one of the biggest things to make sure that you're in games is making sure that you're being mana efficient. Even if
Yes.
one play is better, quote unquote, than a different play, if you can double spell and use all of your mana rather than make the one play that's, quote unquote better but leaves you with less of your resources used, it's often correct to just do more.
Yes, and I typically will always agree with that, but it's just, I don't know, like cutting your singers in half, your opponent's singers in half, is probably just better than running out this Flynn Rider.
Sure. So we had our fun trick with the queen.
Yep, she drew the World's Greatest Criminal Mind a turn too late.
Yeah.
But still got to use it and got to showcase the trick with the queen, like you said.
Yeah. So for those unfamiliar, when the 5-drop queen quests, she can give -4, -0 to an opposing character of your choice, and +4, +0 to any character of your choice. So in this case, we can give the Flynn -4 power and give the Madam Mim +4 power.
Yes.
And that allows World's Greatest Criminal Mind to target the Madam Mim.
Yes. Which, by the way, in this game, I don't think it's come up yet. You can just play songs for your flutes, even if they don't have a target. If there was nothing to target World's Greatest Criminal Mind, you can just play it and it does nothing.
Really?
Yeah, whereas in Magic, you have to have a target.
You have to choose a target.
Right. If there are no characters in play, you could just play Strength of Raging Fire to deal nothing to nothing and gain points off of your flutes, which is another reason why the flutes are just so good. Like,
Okay.
a color combination like Ruby Amethyst can't actually get rid of flutes.
Right.
So,
Yeah, actual just no cards.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't even, like, leave your board blank to avoid them or something like that.
That's certainly noteworthy. I wonder why that is. Like, I wonder if the cards are worded differently.
Yeah,
I just never noticed.
In the rules, it just says do as much as you can. So if as much as you can is cast it, then there you go.
All right. Waiting for those mind slavers to come out in Lorcana. What do you think?
I don't think we're ever going to have cards that interact with our opponent's cards that way. Like, I don't think we're ever going to raise dead,
Sure,
for
sure.
instance. Or not raise dead.
Reanimate.
Yeah, I
Like
don't think
actual
we're ever
full-on,
going to... Yeah,
I get my opponent's characters.
yeah. No switcheroos.
Sure. And that's ultimately probably for the best, honestly. Again,
Yeah.
like Lorcana, there is certainly competitive aspect. Willobeez up to 10 all of a sudden.
Yes, this game is over.
Yeah. Probably so.
Like, actually over.
2 ink away from Be Prepared. We just took a Be Prepared with this bare necessities.
Yeah, so the worst thing that can happen to her now is Rabbit runs into Smee, and then Medusa, the Robin Hood,
Yeah.
which is still leaving 2 queens and the Ariel to go to 15.
Yep.
Gosh,
Yep.
like, you have to keep playing, but I win.
Just go to game 3.
Yeah,
Fair. What I was starting to say before Willobeez just kind of exploded onto the board there was that at the end of the day, this game is a gateway kind of game that is meant to be family friendly and meant
Yes.
to invite kids in.
which I like.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
I'm
family men.
speaking about this as a positive.
Yeah,
But due to that, there is a restriction as to the types of cards that are likely to be designed in order to keep that family-friendly nature and environment.
yes.
So that's part of why this game has no interaction on your opponent's turns, right?
Yeah.
When it is your turn, it is your turn. You do what you want to do. And that ultimately is a positive in the context of keeping a thing family friendly. It is a negative in the context of, I would say, highly competitive gaming.
Oh, no, I love it. I think it's way better.
I think interaction.
Which we could probably have, like, a whole hour-long video about
Oh, it would
that.
be way more than an hour. But yeah, let's not take up too much of
Yes.
this with that. But I do appreciate it. I don't think it is for the best of competitive integrity. But I do appreciate it in the game. We're going to 14 here.
Yeah,
I
and
think
if
it is very
I'm-
good for this game.
If I'm her, I'm not even playing anything.
No, why would you?
Yeah, like, if he's gonna be prep, he's gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, he has to.
And
The only thing that you play
and
here,
he
if
did
you
in
had it-
Medusa the
Right.
previous turn.
The
Yeah,
only thing
that-
that you
that
play
was-
here if you had it is Flute or Pridelands, right?
Yeah, that was the perfect turn to have locations in
Yes.
your hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if Willobeez could have followed up that turn, go to 14, play Flute, play Pridelands, pass. Like,
And now with him thinking so much, now on my next turn, I'm slamming my whole hand if I'm her.
yeah, this would be an
Because,
instant
like,
be prepared, right?
Yeah, if I were him, I probably would have sculpted out while she was taking her turn. Okay, what am I doing if she does?
To be fair, her turn was super fast.
Yeah.
She did just kind of go quest, pass.
Just because he's giving up so much info.
It's true.
I had a top 8 match where I was going to play 2 Lady Tremaines in one turn in
Okay.
a Star City games. And normally I'm a nice guy and I just slam them both in play because it doesn't matter. But I really needed to know what my opponent's hand was, so I played one at a time
Okay.
and watched him think about which card he was going to.
Because it gives information as to
Yeah.
what he's trying to play through on the next turn.
Yes, and if he would have just snapped him off, it would have been so bad for me. I would have looked like a terrible person.
Yeah.
But it actually helped me greatly.
Sure. We got to do the queen trick again, so that's
Yes.
twice in one game. Let's go, queen.
Yeah, World's Greatest Criminal Mind is so good.
I remember that card coming out and being like, this card's real neat, and because of queen, it winds up being better than it would be otherwise. But again, the fact that it's inkable just makes it a worthwhile song to have regardless.
Yeah. And now that I still would put one more character in play if I were her.
Okay. Well,
The Smee, because clearing one character was great, but if he had, say, Maui Fox, he's still
yes.
in it.
Correct. But in any case, very convincing game that time.
Yes.
On Willoughby's side. And you've mentioned this before.
And that wasn't even her best game plan.
Correct.
Like, there were no flutes.
Yeah. And you've mentioned this before, though. The Steel Song deck tends to have a pretty good matchup here.
Yes.
Right? So, while it might not be the plan A, it's an effective plan, and she executed it well.
Yes.
So, like, Randall, I don't think Randall made any, like, poor decisions that game either. Like, the cards just didn't line up well, and it's not a great matchup.
Yeah, it's such a bad matchup for him.
So, where are we at? We've got Flynn versus a queen.
Yeah, I would have liked that Pegasus a lot better. I would have really liked the Pegasus.
Okay, we're inking a 2-drop queen, so we
Yeah,
have
because we're
another
doing
one, right?
another
Yeah.
one. Yep.
And
And
just immediately sing?
if she's not going to immediately sing, that Pegasus would have been threatening.
Yes. Yeah, I guess. So if we take Randall's side and we play the Pegasus rather than the Flynn, then if Willoughby's makes exactly this play and Whole New Worlds, we still get to clear this queen immediately, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm starting to see your enjoyment of the Pegasus.
Yeah, and my disenfranchised Flynn brain. Oh, and she drew a World's Greatest Criminal Mind right off the top.
That's real good against that Sisu that we just played. That Sisu looks very good sitting next to Flynn Rider. I
Yeah,
will say that.
and that's why he wanted to play the Flynn, I'm sure,
Yeah.
is he's just like, this is the game plan in most of my matchups.
It's not a bad game plan.
Yeah, but in this one, it almost never does it.
Yeah.
Because
The Flynn
even
is
if
very
you...
squishy.
Yeah, even if you can't deal with the Sisu, you can most likely just deal with the Flynn.
Yes.
Or ignore it in most cases.
Sisu is one of those rare cards that challenges well and quests well. Right? Like it's a 3-drop that quests for 2.
It's
but
just it's just better than Minnie Mouse Surfer.
yeah.
Like, even if Brawl wasn't printed, it would probably just replace Surfer because it's freely questing for 2 a lot.
Sure.
I know there's some kind of scale. Like, Smee is way ahead of this scale where it's like power, toughness, and questing versus costs. I think that's the only other card like Smee that's just like way beyond
Just so
what it should be capable of.
violently more powerful.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, the developers see the game way further than us.
Of course.
So I don't know if they were expecting, like, we're going to have a really fast format where no one has cards in hand, but
Maybe. They could have also been just watching Bucky do Bucky things.
yeah.
Just
play Robin Hood, shift Robin Hood. So she is telling Randall, I have a whole new world.
Yes. Well,
And he is still drawing into it because she inked the Ariel.
oh, sure.
She didn't have to ink that turn.
Right.
Ideally,
So
Ariel's
why
not
aren't
your
we
singer.
playing the whole new world here? Like, that's...
I think it's
What am I
because
missing?
she has had an ink each turn and she has had a card to play.
Okay.
So there's no point in burning her hand yet.
Okay.
Now, I mean, she's going to want to get this flute in play. I wouldn't. I think she's debating, do I kill Flynn Rider?
Sure.
Which I wouldn't. I would just ignore it.
I don't think we care about it, right?
Yeah. So she has Storm. She would need to draw an Inkable
Yes.
to play the flute.
If she does draw an Inkable, though,
No.
that's a second
yeah,
storm,
she
right?
just wasted 3 ink
Yeah.
and the tempo, and now she's has to wheel.
Yeah.
She told me she told me she was nervous on camera. Yeah.
I think this is, like... I don't think you're wrong, for what it's worth. But I think this is one of those, like, decisions that you can make where the decision... It's not incorrect to do what she tried to do, but there are other lines that you can take.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean?
we're going into Medusa turn.
Yeah.
Like if her turn would have just been like the flute, Smee, Robin Hood. That would have been so much better than clearing the Flynn, even if she hit the ink.
Sure. Did she discard a Smee? I thought...
She inked a Smee.
Oh, okay. I think she drew the Smee off the whole new world, though.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is like she could have
Oh,
played
just play
the flute,
then whole new world.
whole
and
new
then-
world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotcha. All right, well...
Luckily his hand was terrible apparently.
yeah, it looks like...
Oh, it's all draw. It's all draw spells.
Yeah, that doesn't get you out from behind this board. So Randall really needs like a be prepared here, right? Like,
Yes, and so she's gonna want to play anything that's passive lore gain.
yeah. So I saw.
I would
flute.
not have committed this to the board.
I saw a flute, so there's definitely a flute there somewhere. I thought I
Yeah.
saw a Pride Winds as well.
Yeah, I would have just flute, Pride Lands, quested everything, have fun.
Sure.
Because if they do be prepared, you're gonna need the Ariel to potentially sing in the future. Also, playing the Pride Lands, you could have also moved something to Pride Lands, give it 2 more health.
Yeah.
Presumably the Queen.
All right. That gets rid of the Sisu. We get to trigger the flute.
Yeah, which I believe he does not have be prepared, but she doesn't know that.
Correct.
So, like, you're banishing something that was going to be banished, presumably. Again, it's just like, here, please be prepared me. I really want you to.
Maybe he discarded some. Maybe we know he discarded like 2 be prepareds. I didn't see. I know he flashed out his hand so that she could see what he discarded.
Yeah,
But
which
she might be working with more information than we were because we weren't paying attention to the discard.
I always feel rude because my opponent goes, show me their hand, and I say, I don't care.
Oh,
Because I just don't.
come on. Come on.
Unless it's like 4 B preps that were discarded, just like whatever. Because I feel like it's a trick. Like, oh man, you discard 3 B prepareds? I'm good. Be prepared.
Alright, so Maui over here clears the Queen rather than the Robin Hood. That's probably fine. Do you have a preference? Would you clear Queen or Robin Hood?
I would clear the Robin Hood because you have more things that attack into Queen
That's
easier.
yeah.
Although, if you draw a Medusa, you'll feel silly leaving or getting rid of the Robin Hood.
Yeah, leaving the Queen that you can't Medusa.
Yeah, so it's a double-edged sword.
Sure. Okay, throw away this Robin Hood to clear the Maui. That makes sense. Maui already kind of did its work. Throwing away one of our 1-drops is fine. We have another Shift Queen, so guess we don't care about that. I think here we play Pride Lands, right?
Yep.
We have not sung a song this turn, so we don't get the flute.
We don't need to ink that Smee, but... And we definitely don't need to put the Queen in there, because there's nothing that deals damage.
Right.
Like, if you play red and...
Yeah, like, if we put the Robin Hood there, then the Robin Hood can't get hit by a Maui, right?
Yeah, like, I don't think the 5 health is that much bigger than...
It does
3 health.
It means that the queen doesn't get hit by a fox now.
Yeah. Fox,
So-
I would put on an aerial because the fox lives.
Oh, I understand. I'm just like,
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
that's,
yeah.
that's the thought process. Chernabog's followers draw a card.
Just praying for a B prep.
Yeah.
I feel like Randall got pretty unlucky this match.
Yeah, he
like
hasn't-
Willobeez was letting him in the game. Which, by the way, I'm not usually as critical of people, but you know, she is my friend, so it comes with the territory of being friends with me.
Oh, don't watch my matches. No, yeah, I don't think we've seen a Be Prepared from Randall at this point. Like, I don't even think have we even seen, like, a brawl? Like, I feel like he's just been, like, playing characters
Yeah.
and trying to, like, bash his way into this board.
Yeah, now he's the affinity player. That's just like none of your stuff came together and you're attacking with signal pass.
Yeah. Yeah, it really just seems like this draw just never worked out for Randall. And, like,
Yes.
it's not like he hasn't seen cards. I mean, heck, we've wheeled at least once. Like, for sure we've seen cards.
Is Robin Hood in the Pride Lands? I don't remember seeing
Yeah,
her
I don't
pay
think
for
he
it.
was. Oh, I think we're just paying a...
Oh, now.
Yeah, now...
Okay,
we're just
I
paying to put
understand.
Ariel and Robin Hood there.
Yeah.
Queen was the only one that was there. I don't know what's happening anymore. Maybe we took it back.
I have no idea.
Queen is on the Pride Lands.
Yes,
I'm sure
for
of that.
sure.
And now we've paid 2 ink. All right, well, we didn't do anything. So as far as I'm concerned, we paid all of our ink and moved everybody there.
Yeah. Which I don't exert my ink when I'm not on camera. I'm just like, this is all I've done. Go.
Yeah. You can count my ink to prove that I could do it.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. All right, so under the assumption that everything has +2 willpower here, you've got a 5, and an 8.
Yeah.
And we have what looks like 2 cards
Two
in
cards
hand, so
in
that
hand.
Sisu's only got 3. Yikes.
And he's got a Maui, a useless castle.
Okay. So Maui plus, like, Chernabog's followers could clear the Pride Lands. If we wanted to smash the Goat and the Sisu to clear something else.
Yeah.
Or like,
We're dead to any song.
yeah, that's kind of
Almost any way we chop it up. Yeah. And yeah, he's just going to look for the B prep.
That's fair. Okay. So, yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of pointing back and forth on the screen as the players try to figure out what the correct lore total was. The lore totals that you see displayed on screen, I was putting in manually while going through these matches. So I think I'm correct that it should be 3 here. And Willobeez also saying that she believes that it's 3. And we're flipping through the discard pile to see what we might have done that would lead to something different. I believe they settle on 3 momentarily.
Yeah. Whereas I'm so smug, I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You're at 4.
Yeah. And again, I don't think it ultimately mattered. I don't think there was anything like weird happening other than just somebody writing down something that was mistaken.
Hard casting. Okay.
I think we have to clear stuff, right? So we got to figure out what.
Yeah,
like,
but
we
I
need-
think that only clear is be prepared.
You think so?
Yeah.
So just like use Sisu because it's the lower power for the first time ever.
Yeah, like
Slam into the Pride Lands with the. Oh yeah. So. Yep. Here we go.
Willobeez.
Yep.
I can't wait to send her this video.
Yeah. So now. Yep.
Okay.
It worked once. We're gonna keep doing it, right?
Yeah. It's both players' responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like these matches are recorded, but I'm not sitting over the camera.
Right. I
Watching
mean,
them,
I think
like,
me
I've
and
got-
you were talking right now.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, I have a store to run, so
Yes.
I'm not on camera at all times, unfortunately. I'll come over when necessary. If somebody has a judge question, I will do answer the question. But
So yeah, aside from that mess, if I'm on his side, I'm thinking. I'm singing. I'm singing the friends. I'm hoping for a be prepared.
Sure.
I'm going to put damage with Sisu on the Pride Lands and be prep if I draw one, and then the next turn Maui clears Pride Lands.
For what it's worth, I think it's the other way around because the Sisu only had 3 power, so you put 4 damage with the goat and sing with
Yeah.
the Sisu. But
Yeah.
Even so, like the theory is still the same.
Because like
This is
he
just one
should
of the
not
rare cases where the Sisu had less power than the goat.
he should not have been able to clear everything.
Right. And again, even if we're wrong about some of the characters being on the Pride Lands, considering we did nothing, and I know they got moved over there at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she just needs to like put characters in play that he has to deal with.
Right.
That way he's not dealing with
So right
or
now,
that way he's not generating lore.
so we are up to 18 with a Pride Lands and a flute in play. So
Yeah.
we've got 2 characters.
Presumably she wins in 2 turns even if he clears everything.
Correct.
So she just needs him to not gain a bunch of lore in 2 turns.
Right. And with this board, there's no way that he can.
Right.
So this is, we have to clear Pride Lands and a pair of 1-drops. The Sisu should be gigantic right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Sisu
6
should be able
power.
to clear... Is it 6?
Yep.
Okay.
She ended up playing 2 cards afterwards.
All right, so +5, yep.
Yeah.
So the Sisu can't quite clear the Pride Lands by himself, which is really awkward.
Yes.
Super awkward.
Like if she would have just played Smee, it would have
Yeah.
been better for him.
Yeah, crazy. So Maui and Sisu clear the Pride Lands. Oh, that feels so bad to use
Yep.
12
Yeah,
damage.
on your 2 cost card that
Oh.
already gained you a bunch of lore. Pride Lands is so strong.
Yeah. So I see a Tremaine that can deal with one of these things, but we still need a follow-up after that. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I think this is just one of those times where someone's going to exert all their ink and draw a bunch
That's
of
a
cards.
B prepared, I think.
Oh,
Fourth
yep.
note, like dead center there.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like a B prepared.
Yeah, not sure what he's thinking about. Because, like, there's just nothing else that clears 2 characters that you could draw.
Do we
with the
have
ink
like
that's left.
a snake or something? Can we ink, bounce the Maui, and then be prepared? Yeah, okay. So this is just
Interesting. But what's the Maui going to do? Because if a character is exerted from this point on, it has gained a lore.
yeah. The only thing I can think is potentially like if we play
Location.
another Pride Lands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like having access to the Maui so that we can clear it.
If I was her, I'd just show two
Two songs.
I
Two
think he
songs.
literally just says that out loud.
Draw a card, tap the flute.
Yep.
19. You have another song.
Yeah, he's literally just asking her, show me another song, and yeah.
Yeah, I am sure that she thought that would be rude to do.
Yes,
Yeah,
for sure.
Because this is her first card game.
Yeah. No, he asks for it.
Yeah.
She responds in kind, and there we go. So Willobeez to the finals.
Yep,
Congratulations.
against my nemesis,
Against your nemesis.
Gerald.
So we did have that really awkward turn with the Pride Lands and not
Yeah.
having a war, or sorry, not a war boost, a willpower boost for some reason.
All right, man.
Absolutely.
It is a long day. We did play 5 rounds of Swiss. This was round 2 of the quarterfinals. Willoughby's did have to play a win and in
Thank you very much.
to get into the top 8, so it's not like
Yes.
she drew in. So she has been playing all day by that moment, right?
Interestingly, she gets to go first.
She does, 5th
Wow.
seed.
Yeah. She has to feel on top of the world going first in this matchup.
In a good matchup, getting to go first.
This
What can
is-
go wrong?
Well, this is the absolute worst 2-drop you could play. So I'm assuming she's very grateful that she is getting to go first because Brawl does not line up with the Robin Hood.
Sure.
Yeah, it's the worst when you expect to shift your Robin Hood on 3 and they Brawl it. It's just like, it feels like you got punched in the gut.
Fair enough. That sounds terrible.
I'm also, I don't know if he should have cashed in the followers. Depends on if he needed ink, I suppose.
Could be. He also has another followers too, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, we're not immediately shifting a Robin Hood, so
She had a whole new world
see a
in her
whole new
hand,
world
I
in that
believe.
pile, I think.
And she already has one.
Yeah, so probably not taking anything out of this then.
Yeah, but she kind of just gave it away by checking her hand. That's something you just, I mean, you just
Yeah.
got to remember. Oh, I have a whole new world already.
Sure. Yeah, and this is one of those really small things that only starts to matter when you start playing at higher and higher level events. Those small little tells, those small little cues that are going to give away information at bigger events where those tiny percentage points really start to add up.
Yeah. I think he's considering if he draws a card off followers.
Yeah, that is the debate at the moment.
He has a brawl. He's gonna have to brawl this Ariel because
Sure.
she didn't shift the Robin Hood,
Right.
so you just have to assume. And yeah, I think he rightfully does not draw.
Yeah, like this Chernobog's followers is kind of like checking this Robin Hood, right?
Yeah, it also just like if she shifts Robin Hood and attacks followers, she gains the 2 lure.
We'll die together.
Like, oh my god, she's the worst.
She thought it was a one.
She thought it was a 1/1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. First mistake.
What's it called? If you shift and attack it and it dies, it's just so much better than like shift whole new world. So
Yeah.
you just let it happen. It's kind of like now against Bucky decks, you just keep friends in your opening hand because if they Ursula you on 2, you're way better off than if they Bucky you on 2.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter. Whereas previously you would ink the friends if it ended up in your opening hand.
Fair enough. Yeah, this castle coming down right before the whole new world is really good for Gerald here.
Yes.
Like in my admittedly limited experience, castle is how the Ruby Amethyst deck wins this matchup.
Yes, because we have to ignore it.
Yeah.
Unless we like have a goon plus Zeus, that's or shift a queen plus something else.
Right.
We're just ignoring it the entire time.
Yeah, like you just can't clear the stupid thing, right? You have a bunch of 2-power idiots.
Yeah, and we don't even care if he draws off of it if we're gonna whole new world at some point.
Sure.
It's just the 2. It's just that it's on a clock. Usually you have infinite time.
Right.
They're spending all their time getting rid of your stuff.
Yes.
So just being on a clock is stressful.
Yeah. Yeah, you no longer get to kind of dictate the pace of the game.
Yes.
So what do we have? We have 2 flutes, which is great. The flutes can kind of be checking this Queen's Castle in a sense.
Yeah, we can keep par with it.
Yeah.
Although our songs aren't adding anything to the board.
Correct.
So I was going to say we would need a song that removes things from the board.
Yep. Well, we found Zeus.
And we found one.
Now probably play out another character here.
Yeah, we have a queen and a Robin Hood,
Okay.
which puts our opponent in the position of like, which one do you want to deal with? You don't know
Right.
which shift I have.
Yeah. And there you go. So Willobeez agrees there. Yep. No songs, so no flute. Pass. Gerald gaining 2.
I love activating my flutes, and my opponent's going to write it down, and I say, oh, I didn't play a song. Because it says if you did.
Excellent. Excellent. Good old tap your Aether Vial, violin, nothing.
Yes.
Which, by the way, is a good habit to be in if you're in Magic. You should always activate your Aether Vial.
Yeah.
Your opponent only has that opportunity to respond. Anyway, back to Lorcana.
Yeah, he has to Medusa the Ariel because the other 2 are basically redundant.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't know which one he's going after.
Right.
At least the Ariel definitely sings.
Correct.
With no more mana investment, or sorry, ink investment.
Right, right. And Queen shifts for 2, Robin Hood shifts for 3. Here's the Zeus on the castle, and then we're just gonna
And then we're
Yeah.
just gonna throw away
Yeah.
our Robin.
throw it away. Throw it away.
We don't even need it, Gerald.
Don't even get it out of here. That's okay. We cleared the castle, which is not the easiest thing for Steel Song to do.
Right.
All right. Here's an Ursula, so we're
I'm
Singing
feeling back in like position if I'm her with the 2 flutes.
yeah, 2 flutes are going to let us keep up. Unfortunately, the board is pretty easy to keep cleared right now, right?
Yes. So her game plan is throw every single character away every turn by questing, because your flutes are going to win.
Okay.
And if he is attacking your characters, he's not questing.
Sure.
The worst thing that could happen is he plays another location.
Yeah.
That would just be right back
second
to where we
castle.
were.
Second castle would be tough.
Yeah.
Where was the 9?
No, I'm asking, what am I at?
You're at 8.
8. All right, so we'll go ahead and quest for 1 to go to 9.
Okay.
Gerald here asking what his lore total is.
I don't know how people play without writing it. I can't. I can't even use dice. Like, I feel so weird after, like, writing it down for the past 20 years.
Yeah. So, Goat putting Gerald up to 10 lore. Fox reset this Medusa makes sense to me.
Yeah. Medusa is so scary.
Yeah, I mean, it clears everything in the deck, right? Like, we're not even on beasts at this point, and even if we were, it clears beast.
Yeah, the only thing it doesn't banish is Shift Queen, but it only has 3 toughness.
Right, so we don't
3
care
willpower.
because we clear it with everything.
Yes. She has also told him by inking one of those last turn, I just don't have Shift Queen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she inked before she's about to draw a card.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was like, what?
Deal 2 damage.
Sure.
Draw.
I'll gain a lord.
Does it really matter which one we're clearing there? I don't think it does, right?
She might want to challenge the other one.
Okay, just get rid of the goats.
Yeah.
Make sure they're not, because the lore total is starting to creep up there.
Yeah, but I would quest if I were her. Just let him. You gain 1 lore, you let him challenge.
Fair enough.
And then I will pass.
Medusa is just gonna. Hopefully for her, Medusa is gonna come down and hit Ursula because she wants to play a Robin Hood the following turn.
Quest for 1, yeah.
13.
Tap 2.
Oh,
And there's the train we were talking about earlier, where it's just an infinite loop of these two.
yeah. Just reset damage, reset damage, reset damage,
How
reset damage.
how they were inkable, how the developers thought bouncing a character was a detriment.
Bro, I've played Magic way too long to have thought that that was a detriment at any point.
Yeah.
I read those cards and were like, whoa, hold up.
And then now she's giving up the Robin Hood. I would have Rapunzeled. It also quests for 2.
Okay.
And he basically has to Medusa it. But now Medusaing the Robin Hood feels so much worse. And you're never going to draw cards off Rapunzel at this point in the game.
No shot.
For goat.
He's not even worried about the... Oh, okay. There you go.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
We can just add to the board and clear your thing.
Yep. And she still knows, although she's not playing around, she still knows there's a Medusa.
Yes. Yeah, this game has lined up for Gerald pretty much start to finish. It's me.
I gotta
Sure.
talk to her about...
Okay,
Oh,
that's cute.
Ooh.
So we have a Rapunzel here.
And she drew an inkable.
Understood.
Yeah.
She did not have an inkable.
Gotcha.
But we found it,
Man,
and we got to draw. We got to do everything.
definitely would put that other Rapunzel
We
in
got to do
play.
everything.
Because the Rapunzel could have attacked the snake.
Yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't have lived, but she didn't know that.
yeah.
Maybe you've got a bounce though, so maybe I'll get lucky.
The note there only because Gerald was reaching for his own thing and starting to fiddle with dice. I was just trying to make it clear that.
Yeah.
Also, the dice never actually came into play on the Smee because the Rapunzel was going to clear it. Just good communication by the players verbally, but just wanted to make sure that came across on camera and in the video.
Yeah. Makes sense. Also, maybe Gerald was trying to pull the pen trick. Pick up the dice. Oh, you're hitting mine, right? I love the pen. I tell people. I specifically tell people at tournaments, don't try to pen trick me.
19, I
Eh,
passed.
That's 19. That's game. We're done from here, right?
Is it? 10,
I mean,
12, 13,
the goat's
14,
there, and we can't go to 20.
16. Yeah. She can only go to 16 reasonably.
Yeah,
That looks better than.
Did you also watch the anime?
yeah. We can't make it to 20. So
Yeah.
that's game with the goat.
She could have technically made it to
I'm
18.
not gonna be a snob.
18, 8, 20.
Most people hold
Yeah.
I know. Right? All right. It's me, right?
All right, so Gerald taking game 1 on the draw. That's got to feel good from him.
Yeah, that's
We break serve in the matchup, right?
we had two flutes. Like that's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Did she just inky Robin Hood to play Robin Hood?
Yes.
All right, so she just said, Gerald, I have
I
another
have
Robin
another
Hood.
Robin Hood.
And then he played something that has protection from hyenas for some reason. I cannot believe that's in his deck. I've been making fun of him for like a month for this. By the way, if I didn't actually like these people, I just would not say anything mean about them. Because, you know, I know that they can take it.
The good
from
old
me.
I'm allowed to troll them. They're my friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I dislike them, I would just be very professional.
Jesus. All right. Hey, look. Can you believe it?
I know.
A shifted Robin
I
Hood.
know.
That's crazy.
Is she not questing Robin Hood?
No, apparently. We're saving our singer.
Interesting. No punish that I can think of. Crab?
So what even could be a punish here, right? So
Crab.
Rafiki can clear the Smee, right? It's +2.
Yeah. Well, no, +3.
Okay. Either way, it could clear the Smee if we wanted it to.
Yes. So I think the only card she was playing around was Merlin Crab, which
Okay.
gives a character challenger +3.
Yeah.
So the Rafiki would have cleared the Robin Hood.
Sure. Is that card even still in the deck?
It is not in the deck usually.
Okay.
I have seen it,
All right.
but I would not personally play around it. And I
Yeah.
would just get got and then complain on Twitter.
Sure.
So-
That makes sense. I'm led to believe that's what Twitter is for.
Yes.
Complaining about things that were completely preventable from the beginning. That's
Yes.
Twitter's entire purpose.
That is absolutely true.
All right. So what do we got? We found a whole new world? Is that-
Yes.
Okay. So Ariel coming down, finding a whole new world seems apropos. Ink here. Yeah, Ink Criminal Mind. Quest for 2, and still holding off on our singers. So whatever we're doing, we're making sure that this Robin Hood doesn't die about it. Could we have just cleared the Mim with the Robin Hood? We still gain the 2 war. We have the Ariel.
Yes.
All right. Is there a reason not to do that?
No.
Okay.
Because we would have lost our Smee this turn to the Bee King Undisputed, which would be no big deal.
Yeah.
It cost 2, it quested for 4. Like,
Yeah.
it was as good as it could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the Sing, which, you know, we were expecting this at some point, right? Like,
Yeah, like, she's still in the lead,
yeah.
which is great, which, like, really speaks to the power of this deck.
Sure. But yeah, I don't know. Clear the snake with the Robin Hood, get 2 lore, because that's how Robin Hood works. We have a Smee that quests for 2, we have the Ariel hanging out there, and opponent has no board. They can only play 1 rush character.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, okay. Oh, this Ariel bricking.
Yep, Ariel looking at the bottom 4, as she does half the time.
Augur of Triton.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna get that. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I got it.
So
Yeah, and then exerting the Robin Hood on a turn that Maui is coming,
well,
presumably.
this was the turn we wheeled, right? Like,
Yeah,
This was,
so
yeah.
she had to, but
But yeah, Maui gets a shot at just getting this Robin Hood out of here now.
yeah, like
To be fair, if
far as I'm
Gerald
concerned-
doesn't, that Robin Hood gets to go hang out at the Pride Winds, and maybe we remember that it has 8 willpower at that point.
yeah, we'll see. Well, she could have put
Yeah,
it
instead
in
of
the
playing
Pride
the Ariel.
Lands instead of Ariel. Yeah, I try not to play the Ariels unless it's the turn I'm going to use the song, because
Okay.
I don't need my opponent to know on their entire turn what my plan is.
Sure. So 5 ink, 5 cards in hand, I think. Everything symmetrical, everything at parity.
Yeah, she needs to just sing. Oh, yep,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. That's not bad. It's a good start.
Oh, wow. She had to grab your swords. She could have just sang grab your swords.
Yeah, that's better, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
because
card's
the other
generally
card's
speaking
inkable.
trash.
Yeah, the other card is inkable and has more uses.
Huh. Okay. Ink and Ursula play a 5-drop Robin Hood. Ariel clears the Maui with a song. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think we sing grab your sword there because that card, the applications of that card in this matchup are almost nil.
Yeah, and it's also something Gerald is going to be playing around as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like, we play around his Be Prepared, he plays around our Grab Your Swords.
Tremaine being the edict rather than Gerald's choice, which means we get to keep this Robin Hood around. So
Yes,
that's nice.
which is just strictly better aerial.
Yeah, basically. Once they're in play.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, another 5-drop. What do we got this time? Another Robin Hood. Okay. Inca Smee, play a flute. Okay. Sing a song, question mark?
I would just be on a quest.
Yep, okay. We're up to 10 here?
Just went to 8.
Just went to 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I believe we could have been at 14. For the 2 turns she didn't quest, and
2
then
turns
the
that we
1
didn't
turn
quest, the
that
1
she
turn
didn't
we could have
attack.
challenged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14 plus a flute.
And a Pride Lance.
Yeah, it's vicious.
All right, well, we're swinging into the Pride Land, so I assume it's cleared. Yeah.
Yes. Which, by the way, he could have just cleared the Robin Hood.
Also true.
Yeah, because
There's a castle.
the Lady Tremaine would have lived through the Robin Hood challenge.
Yes.
Oh, now she realizes I will still gain 2 lore, so let me do this.
Woo! Hey, look.
Better late than never.
Exactly. It's okay. We're doing good. This game looks pretty good.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Willobeez is a good player. Like, and not even just like it's my first card game. You're good for it being your first card game.
Love Rapunzel getting to draw.
Yeah,
cards
Gerald
here.
has to feel like the worst, the absolute worst right now. A full-blown Rapunzel draw.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm remembering why I like this card. Oh, man.
Gosh,
Rapunzel
shake-
was my favorite card in this game for a hot minute.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, unfortunately, Hiram is like basically outclassed it.
Yeah, kind of.
It's a 1/6.
Yep. It draws more cards.
It's reusable. Yeah. If I'm her, I'm just inking and playing another Rapunzel and having it replace itself. That way, if he B-preps,
Sure.
it replaced itself. If he doesn't B-prep, that's
Yeah,
check.
we're fine. So, we haven't... Okay.
Instead, coming way more to the board.
Yeah. That's a lot. No songs. Quest for 2 up to 12. Flute's not doing anything right here. Yeah, Be Prepared is hurtful right now.
Yes. And he gained 2 off castle this turn.
Yes.
And I don't think he has a B-prep.
Well, if he had it, he could have done it last turn, which you probably do because it clears 2 Robin Hoods, right?
Yeah.
So, like, we know that he didn't have it a minute ago.
Yeah.
So,
Well, putting the Rapunzel in play was still also putting the same amount of lore in play.
True.
As the Robin Hood and Cinderella.
yes. 6 is not 7. Yeah, you got it.
Yep. Cinderella down.
Get out of here. Cinderella or Robin Hood, who cares?
Oof. Well, Robin Hood.
Yeah, but
Although you have 2
we
shifts
already
already.
have 2 shifts already. Come
Yeah.
on. We're fine. Everything's fine.
It'd be funny if she just drew a Robin Hood off the top.
It would be funny. I don't know. We already know we have a bunch of 3-cost songs in our hand. Like, just letting this Cinderella potentially do some stuff, right?
Is she just slow rolling? Yeah.
All right. We're just counting. We're doing math. That's
Yeah.
all.
So you go to 19 and then 20 on the.
And
Shit.
that grab your swords just sat in her hand that whole time.
It did.
After not using it.
Yeah.
Whereas the criminal mind could have at least been ink.
Yeah. Yeah, ultimately didn't really matter that game.
Yeah.
But I agree. It's the small decisions over the course of 100 of those small decisions
Yes.
that lead to more or less wins.
Yeah, I mean, professional blackjack players win off half a percentage point
It's true.
over time.
Not wrong. So, Gerald on the play for the third and final game of this event. Got to feel good about that. Whoever's on the play has to feel better about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially being on the play in the last game when
Yeah.
you should have been on the draw because you were the lower seed.
Correct. Yeah, we got to steal the advantage here. So, inking a castle, which we know is
Yeah.
his best route to victory, but like obviously in the first 2-3 turns of the game, it is what it is.
He's really like, you definitely don't have a shift, grab your swords. He's like, I could soul read you.
Oh,
I think she just said no, grab your sword.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, talk about
he
a
just
moment.
unclenched.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I
Maybe
will
won't
cash
leave
this
two
in.
characters in play.
See, I'm gonna want the snake in play unless he's okay.
All right.
I was gonna say unless he's putting another character in play with more than 3 attack.
He did.
Yes.
That thing's got way more than
Good
3.
job, Gerald.
Way to go.
All right.
So, Sisu, one of the best targets in the game, and why we're playing World's Greatest Criminal Mind, right? Like,
Yeah.
Sisu,
We're playing it for
Maui.
Sisu, Maui, and Tamatoa specifically.
Sure.
But she can just empty her hand here, right?
if she
Oh,
can.
she's choosing not to.
Okay. Pride Land's
I think
great.
she could have just played 3 1-drops.
Okay. There's the grab your sword.
She did have grab your swords.
Wild. What was the draw for turn? Do we know that she didn't
Oh
draw for
my
turn?
gosh. I don't know. I mean, it was in the middle of her hand. I don't know how sneaky she is with her draws. You know, we draw a card and shuffle our hands.
Absolutely.
But I don't know that she does.
Yeah, you are never going to know which card.
Unless I
drew
want
for
you
turn.
to.
Yeah, unless I'm literally just, oh, hey, look!
Yeah, I do that a lot.
No.
If I have a grab your swords in my hand already and I draw another, I will just show my opponent that I drew it as if it has Miracle. Because then they're more likely to play into it again.
That's true.
They're just like, wow. They just, or be prepared.
yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah,
They're
that's
like, wow,
true.
he just got so lucky. I do that to people a lot. I did that to top 8 a Star City Games, a 200-person Star City Games event with Be Prepared specifically.
Oh, so lucky. Here's this board that I'm going to recommit.
Yes.
And then you play the one in your hand.
Yes. It feels so good.
And you make sure to, like, draw your card and set it alone and play the one out of your hand.
I specifically will be like, had it the whole time. Oh, man.
All right, so we have a Pride Lands versus a Queen's Castle. We have 3 characters, which is fine.
This over here.
Yep, Rabbit is hanging out to draw some extra cards here at the castle.
All right. If
we
Gerald
need-
loses,
Yeah,
it is unfortunate. I
Okay.
will say that.
from this.
From her having 0 cards in hand
Yeah.
last turn to him having a castle with a character in it.
Yeah.
And then she just drew a Vanessa.
Yeah.
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 If I were him and I lost, I would feel this was not in my hands.
Sure.
5 to make it
We're
a
just
total of 6 damage.
getting damage over here. Yeah,
Yep.
we have to, right?
Yep.
Ugh, that feels terrible. The good news is now any character is going to clear the castle.
Yes.
The bad news is
She's going to lose at
her
least 2
whole board
characters.
Here. Yeah.
Maui,
Yep. Maui clears the aerial.
your pride line.
No, that's a
Or-
mistake, Gerald. Don't do that.
Never mind.
Merlin,
Undo.
take out Robin Hood. Maui, take out Ariel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So get 2 on it. Probably can just have another turn.
Boop.
Yep.
All right. we
So
got
many
there.
people are like afraid of like the Cinderella. No, don't
No.
be.
No. Like the Cinderella's very good. I want it on 1,
Yes.
but yeah, no. Like there's no reason to be afraid of the Cinderella once we've got to the point where we have 4 or 5 ink in play plus other things.
All right, so she drew a Criminal Mind, so she can hardcast Criminal Mind.
Okay.
Take out Maui.
Yeah, we
Ursula,
have
take
nothing
out
else,
Rabbit.
right? So we don't.
And then Cinderella, take out Location.
Okay.
If
See
we
get
draw
all
a
that.
whole new world, we can't
Cinderella.
play it.
Yep. There's that. Boop. There's that. Yeah. So exactly like you said.
Yeah, for her to get back in the game, I feel like her next draw specifically has to be Rapunzel, without him clearing that Ursula.
Okay. Sure. Should we should have moved a character over, right? Because Pride Wins is 1 to move a character.
No,
Is it
2.
Is it 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is Queen's Castle 1?
I cannot tell you.
Why is that card 1? Jesus. Okay.
Interesting.
That's-
He had Medusa.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if...
Because she's top decking, right?
And
like-
she can just play this.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Unfortunate.
We need an
but-
inkable.
Yep.
Yeah, we had... Okay, a little bit late, but we remembered our Pride lands.
Better to draw that and know you need an inkable than draw an inkable and debate on if I need to ink it.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, if she draws an inkable, that was a great turn for him on
He
her
just-
side.
Yeah, he just drew 3 extra cards.
Yeah.
Just full hand.
Goodbye,
throw away.
Ancestral Recall.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not an inkable. Ugh. It's all falling apart.
yeah. This is what the deck does. She was on the Memnite beatdown plan.
Yeah.
With all the just
Yeah.
one cost things that do nothing.
That clears the Pride lands.
And then you tap 5. Okay, cool.
So this game is more or less well and truly over, right? We're
Yeah,
just-
Willobeez is just pointing at everything that is destroying her.
Yeah. Smee, whole new world because we gotta.
Oh, you're
Like-
Yep.
taking this to me, my bad.
Gerald's a little confused.
Yeah, she just kind of played it and
Yeah, she had to be so excited to draw an inkable, even though the game's over.
Yeah.
Just
but like if we're gonna get back into it, it's this, right? Like,
yes.
The
yeah.
only shot we have is Gerald draws the worst 7 possible,
Yep.
and we can come back into the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't appreciate that enough of just pretending your opponent has napkins.
Right.
Because that's your out.
That my out is my opponent has bricks in their hand.
Yeah,
Second
ugh.
castle is not a brick.
No, that's more like a brick in your glove when
Yeah.
you go out to fight a boxing match.
Yeah. Draw some more cards.
1,
J-
2,
yep.
3.
Move everything.
Move everything onto castles.
Yeah. You know, diversify your assets.
Exactly. So what do we got? We have 5 ink. We have a grip full of cards, and we have an entire board that we have to deal with, including 2 castles.
Yeah, and what we probably don't have is a hope and a chance, but it's okay. Willoughby's is an upbeat person.
Sure. You would know better than I.
Yeah, that's why we work well together. I'm so boring and monotone, and
Excellent.
she's so happy.
Gotcha.
She still has joy in life.
Just wait.
She's young. She's young into her TCG career. It can only go up.
So, all right. So we ink here. Playing an Ariel, looks like. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, so what song are we digging for?
Zeus is the only thing I can think of because we can Zeus and then attack with Ariel one of the castles.
Sure.
We definitely need to like,
Assuming opponent can't do anything.
yeah.
But again, we assume your opponent has nothing.
Yes. That's a good step 1.
Okay.
Drawing 1 less card.
Yeah, we also get Allure off of the flute here, so not nothing.
Gosh, straight from 8 to 12.
Yeah.
It's just brutal.
It's wild. Yeah, Queen's Castle is an obscene card in this game, I think. And I know I already said it, but why is it only 1? Why?
Yeah, I can't tell you. Like, the only unfortunate thing about like Castle, well, one of the unfortunate things about Castle, Rabbit, and Goat is they all cost 4.
Yes.
There's basically no more design space left for 4 cost cards. We
Yeah.
just can't afford to put any more in the deck
And they
unless
have to
they're
be-
free, like
they have to
Bee
be
King.
better than what we're already doing, and that's a hard ask.
Yes, I mean something that just constantly draws cards in the rabbit, something that you can just draw and win the game in goat, and then something that when you're behind can draw extra cards, when you're ahead can just close out the game.
Yep.
And that's it. That's the handshake.
Yeah. Yeah, congratulations, Gerald,
I'll
here.
make a boss.
Very dominant game for that game 3.
Yeah, I will be sure to meet you in the finals next time. I can't let this happen again. There's his pajama pants.
Love the pajama pants.
Beautiful
Let's go.
faces.
Congratulations, Gerald, on taking this one down. Congratulations, Willobeez, flying up here from Florida, you said.
Yep, made the flight worth it. The cost of the flight worth it.
There you
for
go.
Sure.
Doing well. First TCG?
Yeah, this is her first trading card game ever.
Okay.
Yeah, and like, you know, I don't want anyone thinking I think she's a bad player. I think she's actually a good player, whether or not it was her first trading card game.
Yeah, for sure. No, any mistakes that we're pointing out, and we pointed them out across every match from every side.
Yep.
And again, mistakes, maybe not even in some cases. Some of them were judgment calls. You know, sometimes, you know, the dice break one way, but you played as if they would break a different way. And it is what it is sometimes.
Yeah, some of those things I said would not have worked out.
Correct.
And ended up working out better for the person.
For the line that they actually did take. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, congratulations to the participants, our top 8. Congratulations especially to those who did get the Ursula promos. So our top 4.
Yes, everyone not me.
Which was, I believe, by name. No, I'm just kidding. Good job to everybody. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Dick, thank you very much for joining me for this one.
No, thanks for having me. I love supporting this store. I think this store is the best prize sport in the area. I think the fact that it's run by someone that really understands the grind and understands what brings people in, brings people in. So
Appreciate that.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. All right, everybody. Goodbye, YouTube. We'll see you in the next one.